Wrigley Field, it's Major League Baseball as the San Francisco Giants meet our Chicago Cubs. Participating advertisers in today's game are Lowenbrau. When you want the taste of a truly great beer, there's really only one. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrau. Your local Toyota dealers, where now's the time to cook up a deal. True Value Hardware Stores. True Value, more than just a name, it's their way of doing business. Zenith and your Zenith dealers, featuring System 3 color TV. Canon, so advanced, Canon is the world's leader in 35mm photography. Union 76 and your neighborhood dealers who invite you to go with the spirit of 76. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has the right of approval of the announcers and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited.
David Carradine stars as a man who confronts violence with reason.
Master, how do I not contend with the man that would contend with me?
There is always violence. Be, therefore, like the prow of a boat. It cleaves the water, yet it leaves in its wake water unbroken.
But some people just won't listen to reason.
Peace who fights like 10 tigers.
David Carradine is master of martial arts in Kung Fu. Sunday nights at 10 on Channel 9.
Daddy, it's broke.
Oh, here, let me see. Hey, thanks.
Can I help you?
Oh, do you do tune-ups?
Sure, my mechanics are certified in tune-ups.
Certified?
Union 76 sends them to school, then certifies their ability with these stripes.
Oh, sounds professional. When can someone tune my car?
My best mechanics available now. Vic, top-notch professional. Vic, Yemmer.
He fixed my car.
Road test.
Go with the spirit.
Make sure your mechanic is certified.
The spirit of 76.
Now, there's a brand new charcoal you just pour and light. You don't need lighter fluid, ever. Matchlight. Look again. Matchlight lights fast and easy. You don't add a single drop of lighter fluid. New Matchlight from Kingsford. It's the pour and light charcoal because you don't need lighter fluid, ever.
Well, hi, everybody. Once again, welcome to baseball. Beautiful Wrigley Field, the home of the Chicago Cubs. A little bit on the overcast side, but the weatherman says, don't worry about it, folks. It's going to be a beautiful day, and it certainly is, up till now, a beautiful day for a ball game. Cubs against the Giants as the Cubs try to retrieve a little self-respect from the last 2 days that the Giants have kind of beat them out here in heartbreaking fashion. 2-1 and 4-3. A couple of ball games, of course, that are the kinds that give a manager sleepless nights. If you get your brains knocked out, you just write it off and forget it and say tomorrow's another day. But those one-run jobs are the ones where you lie there and figure out if you'd have done this here, or this here, or this here, or this here, it would have turned the game around. Well, so much for that history. Now, today's another day. Cubs-Giants, always a tremendous rivalry. I'm Jack Brickhouse, along with Milo Hamilton, who will be upstairs here in a moment. Lou Boudreau will be along a little bit later on. Jack Rosenberg, our WGN sports editor, with us. Arnie Harris, directing this great crew of ours, capturing these baseball headlines as they're being made. Pretty good crowd out here today. Expect a little noise because the Cubs and their fans have quite an interesting relationship, and I don't know, they could be 10 runs behind in a ball game and somebody gets 2 base hits, and the next thing you know, a couple of them are on their feet around here because they just can smell a big rally, and that's the way Cub fans are. They never really give up. Batting order now for the San Francisco Giants. We're going to send Ed Whitson against the Cubs. Ed's 3-1 this year and won 4 of his last 5 decisions, and he's doing very, very well against the Cubs, too. He'll be facing Randy March, who's 1-0 against the Giants this year. San Francisco, Joe Morgan at second leading off. Enos Cabell at first. Jack Clark is in right field. Darrell Evans at third. Larry Herndon in left field. Jeff Leonard center field. Milt May is catching the ball game. Billy Smith at shortstop. And the pitchers, we said Ed Whitson has won 4, lost 5 so far this year, but he's won 3 straight now and 4 of his last 5 decisions. For the Chicago Cubs, Steve Henderson is in left. Pat Tabler at second. Bill Buckner at first. Bobby Bonds in center, batting cleanup against his old teammates. Leon Durham in right. Jody Davis catching. Ken Reitz at third. Ivan DeJesus at shortstop. And the pitcher, Randy March, who, like Whitson, has won 4 and lost 5. Randy, as we said, 1-0 against San Francisco this year, which also happens to be his lifetime against them as well. The plate umpire today is going to be the biggest umpire we have in baseball, Lee Wire. Umpiring at first is Harry Wendelstedt. Dutch Reynolds out there at second, and Ed Montague will be the umpire at third. The temperature, 78 degrees. That's baseball weather, folks. And the wind is out of the southwest at about 7 miles an hour, which means that the wind is not going to be much of a factor in this ball game. As a matter of fact, I noticed the center field scoreboard flags are flapping a little, but the one down the right field line is almost limp. Anyway, get set for a big afternoon wherever you are in this great land of ours. We welcome you to our efforts here at Wrigley Field to take your mind off your worries for a little while, get you a little relaxation, a little escape from the cares and the anxieties of this world of ours. And all you shut-ins, we hope that we'll get your mind off your problems for a little while and get you back at this ballpark as soon as we possibly can. Down there at the plate, as you can see, Jimmy Davenport, number 12 for the Giants, is turning into batting order for Frank Robinson. Cookie Rojas, number 1, is the fellow doing the same thing for Joey Amalfitano and the Cubs. In a moment now, of course, the umpires will take their stations. The Cubs will take their positions on the field. We're going to have a very lovely young lady and a very beautiful young lady sing our national anthem for us today. There she is. That's 25-year-old Sandra Truitt, who was Miss Illinois of 1981. So again, it's welcome from Wrigley Field on the near north side of Chicago, nestled in the heart of a residential area, the home of the Chicago Cubs, a place which has been quite a landmark in the sports world now for a long, long time. And out there in the center field bleachers, you'll see people, as we said before, worshiping the sun today as their mothers and fathers and grandmothers and grandfathers did before them. They're third generation out there, maybe fourth for all I know, Milo. There they are. And as I said, Sandra Truitt, Miss Illinois of 1981, is going to sing our national anthem. She's toured in New York with the Chicago Symphony Chorus. She's a second-year doctoral student at Northwestern University, and obviously a very beautiful young lady. Cotton Bogren has this place in beautiful shape. No complaints about the length of the infield grass lately, Milo, so the boys must be happy with Cotton and his crew. That's Frank Robinson. Fact is, that was Rennie Stennett, who started at second base in Game 1. But Joe Morgan took over yesterday and also is starting today. There's Buck Peden, who gets all those difficult assignments. He gets to accompany this beauty out to the plate. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. There they go out on the field. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join in singing our national anthem, being sung today by Miss Illinois 1981, Sandra Truitt.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the
heard through it, Miss Illinois, in our national anthem. So the Cubs are on the field. Out and left, there's Steve Henderson. Center fielder Bobby Bonds. Right fielder Leon Durham. Kenny Reitz at third. Shortstop Ivan De Jesus. Pat Tabler at second. And over to first is Bill Buckner. Pitcher Randy Martz. And the catcher Jody Davis. Don Buford coaching at first. Over to third, Jimmy Davenport. Harry Wendelstedt umpiring at first. Dutch Rennert at second. At third, Ed Montague. And behind the plate, Lee Wire. Well, it's great to see that Wire back in action, Milo, because a year ago we despaired of his ever being able to return to umpiring again.
Got to be a miracle. Those first reports, and now to see him back there, it's really gratifying.
Yes, the ailment was a strange one. It was some kind of a blood ailment, wasn't it?
And it affected his eyes. Well, I tell you, when that's what you're dependent upon for your profession, that's really got to be scary.
You know, Big Lee, sometimes big fellows like that may look like they're clumsy or cumbersome. The fact is he is anything else but a bowling instructor and one of the greatest guys at manipulating a deck of cards you ever saw in your life. He and Ed Montague have that in common. They are both magicians, and I mean pro. So Morgan stepping in. Milo, let's get out in front early today, huh?
Let's get some runs.
Let's get a lapper.
All right, Randy March looking at Morgan, who's 0 for 4 in this series. And the first pitch is a ball, and we are underway. Randy March 1-0 this year and lifetime with the Giants. 4 and 5 on the year, and a strike to make it 1-1. Morgan batting .241, 6 homers, 25 runs batted in. Cabell will be next, then Clark. Palm ball, boy, oh boy, that's a beauty. 1-2. Hope you were in early to hear Les Moss talk about Randy Martz. Morgan waiting on a 1-2 delivery. And he's gone. Boy, he pitched to a couple of spots to that opening hitter, Jack, and got it right on the nose.
Morgan knew it, too. He knew he'd been fooled.
Look at that curveball come in over that outside corner.
Sox got 3 in the second. They lead 3-0. Toronto at bat in the third now.
Trout against Leal, but Leal is gone and McLaughlin is in there.
Detroit 2, Texas nothing, and then the Detroit third. Detroit's going for their 9th straight today.
Matlack against Wilcox in that game. A strike and 1-1 to Cabell. Cabell 1 for 9 in this series. Against the league, he's hitting .245 with 2 homers and 26 runs batted in. As the Yankees host Kansas City, Gale for the Royals, Guidry for the Yankees. Fouled off, out of play, 1-2. Arroyo goes for Minnesota up in Milwaukee against Haas. Montreal got a run in Atlanta off Mailer. And there is Frank Robinson. Don McMahon is pitching coach on his right. That fellow with the cap over his eyes is Jim Lefevre. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nepper will go for Houston at Philadelphia against Carlton. Joey, and there they are, the twosome, always looking at that pitcher, Joey and Les. 3 3-2. Wells for San Diego against Scurry of Pittsburgh, and so far no score after 2.5.
Did you notice Valenzuela got his 10th win last night? Finally got it. Beat the Dodgers 3-2. Rather beats the St. Louis Cardinals 3-2 for the Dodgers.
He waited a while to get that one, didn't he?
Yeah, 4 starts.
Bouncer, shortstop over, picks it clean and throws him out. That came up just right for DeJesus. He knew that there wasn't any chance to get over in front of it, not with Cabell running. And watch how the ball comes up just where he wants it, so he can scoop it and fire. He's got to make a move. Look at this, right in there.
Don't underrate this throw either, because he didn't have the luxury of being able to measure this one for very long.
Nope, Cabell runs well. Look at him look into that glove and say, I've got it, and let her fly. Nice going, Ivan. Now here's Clark. This is a guy we got to keep off the base paths. Of course, a couple of times he hasn't been on him very long. He just trotted around him. 4 for 7 in this series, 2 homers and 3 runs batted in. Clark hitting .246, but he has 10 homers and 33 ribbies. And since the break, he's something like 15 for 45. $15 for 43, in fact. (2-0), 3-0.
Dodgers got a run in the first. The Cardinals are now at bat. Hernandez has just tied that one. Matter of fact, he's put the Cardinals out in front. He got a 2-run homer, his 7th of the year, and the Cardinals are still at bat. Pittsburgh 2, San Diego nothing. They're in the Pirates 3rd.
That's in there.
San Diego finally broke that losing streak last night, and Toronto failed in the 3rd. White Sox leading 3-0 at the end of 3 at Toronto.
3-1 to Clark, and he ends up walking him. Never gave him a pitch to hit. So Clark's at first, where he's met by Billy Buckner, and here is Darrell Evans, their cleanup hitter and third baseman. He's 1 for 8 in this series, has hit Safely in 11 of his last 13 games. Evans for the year, .246, 10 homers, 37 RBIs. He and Clark are tied for the home run lead on the Giants, 10 apiece. Larry Herndon would be next. The first 2 batters were up and down quickly, Morgan and Cabell. Morgan called out on strikes. Cabell thrown out on a great play by DeJesus. Now Clark has walked, and a pitch outside to Darrell Evans. Padres come in tomorrow for 3. Not a big lead for Clark. A ball, 2-0. It'll be Mike Krukow Monday, Ken Kravik on Tuesday, and Doug Bird will come back on Wednesday. So right now that rotation's pretty well set when you've got Martz ready. 2 balls, no strikes. Now he's 3-0, and all of a sudden he's having trouble. Juan Eichelberger will pitch the opener for the Padres tomorrow. You believe that we're getting ready to go to the West Coast again, and we'll look at the Padres for the very first time all year tomorrow? That's the team that would have been in here the day the strike started.
Yes, and of course we would have been out there once had it not been for the strike.
3-0. Walked him, 2 straight walks. Now you're bringing up a fellow who's been swinging a good bat, and especially with men on, Larry Herndon. He's 4 for 9 in this series with 1 RBI. He has a 4-game hitting streak. He's hit safely in 8 of his last 10. So right now he is a tough out. Against the league, 305, 3 homers, 27 runs batted in. Now is where Randy's got to bear down and get this fellow. Don't let those walks come back to haunt you. 2 quick outs, then just as quickly 2 walks. One ball and no strikes. He's been behind the last 3 hitters. In fact, the last 4, because he got behind Cabell. before he eventually got him. And Les Moss wants to have a little talk with one of his prize pupils, Randy Martz. They have spotted something here that he's doing. I asked Les about it on the leadoff. I said, what about Martz now? Because coming in relief the last few times, he's known that he was maybe going to be out there for an inning or two or three at the most, and looked like he was more aggressive. Will he have a tendency maybe to try to pace himself here today since he's starting? Plus the humidity on the field feels like it's 99. He said, well, I hope not, because I talked to him about it all morning. But it looks like maybe he's fallen into a little pacing rut here, because he's not the aggressive pitcher that we saw in relief the last few times.
Well, today, too, Marlo, with the emphasis we now have on the bullpen more than ever before in baseball, the tendency is for the pitcher just to go out and fire as hard as he can, and if they can get 5 or 6 innings out of him, fine.
Gets the breaking ball in for a strike. New York got a run off Seaver. Lynch is pitching for the Mets. 2-1.
At the half, Philadelphia Eagles 12, New Orleans Saints 7 in preseason football. Congratulations to the Bears on that win last night. Maybe they'll start to put it together now.
And they got a scare at the end at that after a big lead. 2-1 in there, and it's 2-2. And in about an hour, the Sting will start their trek, hopefully toward bigger days. And tonight at 6, the Chicago Fire plays the Jacksonville Firebirds in their first playoff game. Fouled off, holding 2-2 on Herndon.
Kansas City failed in the first, and the Yankees are now at bat. You notice where Mr. Russell shut him out last night?
He didn't really pitch that badly the other times he was out.
Well, he explained that he's been having a tendency toward blisters, and plus the fact that he wasn't quite in shape because of the strike.
Ground ball missing. He's 3-2. The merry-go-round will be on here. The runners will be set. Clark at second, Evans at first. A walk to each of them after 2 away, and now we're down to cases on Herndon. 3-2. Runners are going. He walked him, and he's walked. The bases loaded. That will bring up the center fielder, Jeff Leonard, who hasn't hurt us with his bat, but he killed us with his glove and his legs in the opening game. And Willie Hernandez is going to the bullpen. Joey and Les not happy with what they're looking at now. I'm sure they kept hoping after the first couple of walks that he could come back and get him, but instead he's walked the bases full. Now Jeff Leonard is the batter. Ball one. Leonard's totals for the year, including Houston and the Giants, 250, 1 homer, and 9 RBIs. 5th hitter in a row that he started off behind. You cannot hit from behind forever. That's a strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Jeff Leonard, the batter. And a left-hand batting catcher, Milt May, would be next. The 1-1 from Randy Martz. A high bounce. Shortstop to Jesus. Go the short way. Side retired. 6-4 to Jesus to Tabler. And so Randy Martz just dodged a bullet.
Everybody exhale.
We played a half an inning. There were 3 walks. The Giants are scoreless with no hits. There weren't any Cub errors. 3 Giants were left, and our Cubs are just now coming into bat.
Hi, Pat Summerall. Get book 2 of my 64-page full-color Sports Stars collection free with any $10 purchase at participating True Value hardware stores.
And right now, you could celebrate end-of-summer savings with their pre-Labor Day Carnival of Value circular, where you'll find Duro Super Glue 3 for just 88 cents a tube. And this True Test Latex Caulk for just $1.18. This long-wearing Orel paintbrush is just $3.99. And get 4 Value Bright light bulbs for just $1.19 at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Here's two good friends. Tonight is time.
Earthlings! One solo and he's ready for the space program.
I'm gonna set this thing down in about 10 minutes, and I expect a terrific reception.
How about us and a case of Lowenbrow?
Perfect.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Must have been great up there.
Oh, I don't know. It's pretty great down here.
Well, Lazinski has homered in the fourth with 2 on. That's his 13th. So now the White Sox lead Toronto 6-0. Toronto at bat in the fourth, and it's Pittsburgh 4, San Diego 0 at the end of 3.
Let's put the Giants on the field. Left field, you start with Larry Herndon, number 31. Move over to center for Jeff Leonard, number 26. In right field, Jack Clark wears 22. At third base, Darrell Evans, 41. Billy Ed Smith, 21, playing shortstop for the second straight day. Joe Morgan, the old veteran, number 8 at second. Enos Cavell, 23 at first. On the mound, Eddie Whitson, number 32. And his battery mate is Milt May, number 7. Whitson comes in with a record of 4-5, 3.67 ERA, 14th outing, all as a starter. Comes over the top of the breaking ball, gets a strike called.
Inside the park home run, Marlowe, for Milburn for the Yankees in the first. That's his first home run.
Whitson has worked 76 innings, thrown 6 home run balls, which is a high ratio for him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Walked 29, struck out 41, and when I talked about him on the leadoff with Les, how tough he was on us last year, our coaches, Cookie Rojas at third, Gene Kleins at first. 2-1 to Henderson. Listen to this figure. Whitson against the Cubs' lifetime is 3-1 with an ERA of 1.42.
That's pretty stingy. Whew.
He shut us out once last year for his first win, and to prove it was no fluke, a week later did it again. 2-2 to Henderson. Henderson struggling in this series. He's 0 for 8. Batting .270 against the league with 4 homers and 21 runs batted in. Missed with a breaking ball.
Nettles just got a homer for the Yankees in the first with 2 on. That's his 10th of the year. So the Yankees are having a big first inning against Kansas City.
They've gotten those runs for Guidry, Jack. You don't want to let him get too big a lead. He's tough when it's tight. Fouled off as he jammed him on the fist.
Dodgers with 2 in the second. Cardinals now at bat. Los Angeles 3, St. Louis 2.
Henderson will be followed by Pat Tabler and then Bill Buckner. This is our 6th game of the year with the Giants. Cubs swept them the first time in. Giants are trying to return the favor. Strike 3. Right across the kneecap.
Henderson 9 series for Henderson at this point.
Yep. And he's been taking a lot of good pitches, Jack. Yeah. Here's Pat Tabler, 2 for 7 in the series. Just joined us on Friday. Got right into the starting lineup. And his folks are watching us down in Sarasota, Florida on the cable, Jack. Another one of our players where the family gets a chance to watch. Strike 1 to Pat Tabler. Bill Buckner has moved on deck. In the top of the first, Marks got into a full-blown jam when he walked the bases loaded after 2 out, but got Leonard to hit into a force play. 0-1 to Tabler. Bullseye. Strike 2. Boy, Whitson just got a good live arm. From Johnson City, Tennessee. And 2. Wasted a high, tight one. 1-2. L.A. 3, St. Louis 2 after an inning and a half. Fouled it off just enough to keep him up there, and it remains 1-2. Montreal and Atlanta split last night, and Montreal's leading 1-0 today after an inning and a half. High fly ball, shallow right. Clark in. His play to make, and he does. Fly ball to shallow right off Pat Tabler's bat, and Clark makes the catch, 2 down. That'll bring up Bill Buckner. Buckner with another streak going. He's hit in 8 straight games. 2 for 8 in this series with 1 run batted in. And against the league, he's up over 290 again. 293, 6 homers, 42 runs batted in. But he has lost 20 points to his league average since the reopening of the season. When we came back, he was sitting on 313. Today he's at 293.
The big mystery is striking out in 4 of the last 5 games. This is something he just doesn't do.
That's right. Now, yesterday when he struck out swinging, Minton just threw him a ball that I don't know what it was or what it did, but when it got in the strike zone, it really did a dipsy doodle. A 1-hopper to Morgan. That'll be easy. A 3-up, 3-down inning for Eddie Whitson. So we have played through 1 at Wrigley Field on a beautiful Sunday for baseball. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are. We'll go to the second with no score.
America, here's the diesel you've been waiting for, and it's at your Toyota dealer. The 18th Toyota truck model, the Toyota long bed diesel. Better mileage than any gasoline-powered truck. 7-foot cargo bed, separate rugged frame, 1,000-pound payload. Best of all, it's built with Toyota quality. Quality that makes Toyota the #1 import truck in America. Come in and compare. That's your Toyota dealer's quality challenge. Compare our deals and compare our quality. We wrote the book on quality.
Nobody rises up in the city quite the way we do. With our egg and nothing we do it. Nobody can do it like only McDonald's
can. Is the Energizer just another battery? Is a picture from outer space just another snapshot? The Energizer from Everready Technology. Of all leading brands, nothing outlasts, nothing outperforms the Energizer. Everready scientists made sure. Your photo flash, calculator, toy, they'll tell you, energize me. The Energizer, energize for life.
Long life.
Bottom third of the order for Randy March as we go to the second. Milt May looks at a ball. May is hit safely in 6 out of 8. Didn't like strike 3 called yesterday his last time up, so got to the shower an inning early. High pop foul over here to the left. Jody Davis and Reitz both moving, and it dropped behind him. Ooh, is that embarrassing. That wind just blew it behind him, Jack. I'm sure when it went up, they thought it was going to be close, even if they had a chance. And both of them ended up on the railing. It'll be no play. One ball and 1 strike to May. Smith, the shortstop, on deck. Against the league, May is hitting .306, 2 homers, 24 runs batted in. Palm ball missing, and it is 2-1. Now here's another look. See where it bounces? And when it hit the ground and made that thud, Jody Davis reacted. Oh. Out behind second. With a slow man running, DeJesus knew he could let the ball play him and get away with it, and it's 1 away.
Yeah, Milt was out of the ball game in a hurry last night, too. He must have said the magic words to Montague.
And in Montague's case, magic would be the right word.
You know something? He's an interesting fella.
Here is Smith, the shortstop. 1 for 4 in the series with a run batted in. In limited play, he's batting .138. 1 homer, 4 runs batted in. He's a switch hitter. That's a strike, says Lee Wire, and it is 0-1.
Turned out to be a 4-run inning for the Yankees. They lead Kansas City 4-0. The Yankees at bat now in the second inning.
Almost reached across for that off-speed pitch, but laid off in time, and it's 1-1. A ball and a strike to Smith. Whitson due up next. Second inning, no score. Bouncer, the Tabler's going to have to charge, and the pitcher's going to have to cover. And Randy did his job. That's the way to get off that hill. You can't be a spectator on that play, and Randy March did it just right. Here's a big high hopper by him. See, he's already on the way because he knew that Buckner would break for it. Tabler will make the play. Gave it to him right where he wanted it. Didn't have to search for that bag. And look at Randy get off that mound. He'll be over there where he can take it. And close. Because that ball wasn't hit very hard, so he had a lot of time to run while that ball was bouncing around. A strike 1 count to Whitson. Whitson has been up 22 times in his previous 13 starts. He's had 2 hits. Driven in 1 run. Well, 2 balls and a strike.
1-0. The Mets over Cincinnati. Cincinnati at bat in the second. I see Mr. Kingman got his 11th career grand slammer to win that ball game for the Mets last night. 7-4.
Bouncer that may. Oh, backhanded by Tabler. He got him. Holy Toledo, what a play. If that isn't a full-blown Major League second base play, I don't know what you got to see to believe it. He gets a standing ovation here. This ball was hit hard by Whitson. Tabler backhands it with that boarding house reach on that 6'1" frame of his. Then gets rid of it with enough on it to a stretching Buckner, and it wasn't even close. Man, oh man, what a play. You enjoy it again. It was a 3-up, 3-down inning, and the crowd's still buzzing. We played an inning and a half. The Giants nothing, the Cubs nothing.
Now, there's a brand new charcoal you just pour and light. You don't need lighter fluid, ever. Matchlight. Look again. Matchlight lights fast and easy. You don't add a single drop of lighter fluid. New Matchlight from Kingsford. It's the pour and light charcoal because you don't need lighter fluid, ever.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
It's just right. That'll be a full moon. Hardly any wind. And the Lowenbrau's cold. Sure beats the office.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrau.
Sure hope the douche don't bother us.
Durham is going to lead it off. He'll be followed by Bonds and then Davis.
Kingman, by the way, with his 11th career grand slammer, is now tied with Johnny Bench and Stargell in that department among the active players.
Strike 1 to the Bull. Durham in this series is 1 for 8 with a run batted in. Hit safely in 17 of his last 19 games. There's a looping liner into center, a base hit. So Durham's now hit safely in 18 of his last 20. He came in hitting .312, leading hitter on the club. That'll bring up Bobby Bonds, who's hit safely in 7 out of 8 and 10 out of his last 12. In limited play, Bobby batting .333 for the year. In this series, the veteran outfielder is 1 for 6.
Our apologies, but apparently Durham and Bonds were switched in the order.
Jimmy Davidovich is apologizing to the press row here because the lineup But I got off the walls down there, and later, up in the poodle and was put on the blackboard here, had Durham batting 5th and Bonds batting 4th. Whoa, he almost threw it away, and luckily Cabell got enough leather on it to slow it down. Lucky for the Giants, that is.
Well, you know why, don't you, Milo? Because I made my scorecard in ink. When I do that, these things happen.
So Bonds the batter with Durham at first, and he's a threat to go. But not now. Whitson has a good move, by the way. Jody Davis is on deck. We're in the 2nd inning. 1 hit. It belongs to Leon Durham. Doesn't take a big lead. He's going. The throw down will be in time to nail him. That pitch. 2-4 on the play, and look where Milt May gets the pitch. It's in a perfect spot, right up where he wanted, where he can release high, and Morgan just put the glove down and let him slide into it. That means Leon is now 18 out of 25 in the stolen base department. Breaking pitch is in for a strike to Bobby Bonds. That's a bullseye, and it's 2-2. High breaking pitch, 3-2. Full count, and in with an off-speed breaking pitch. So 2 strikeouts for Whitson. They've both been called. He did it to Henderson to start the 1st inning. Now it's 2 away and brings up Jody Davis. Jody Davis looks at ball 1. Davis against the league, 266 hitter, 2 homers, 10 RBIs. In this series, the rookie catcher is 2 for 5 and 1 run batted in. And one of his 2 homers against the Giants, the 1-0. Breaking pitch in. Boy, Whitson, I don't remember when I've seen him have that good a breaking pitch in the strike zone.
Well, the Sox have got a real cakewalk going. The Toronto at bat on the 5th. The White Sox 8. Toronto nothing.
1-2. If the Sox hadn't let that one escape in the opening game, they'd be going for a sweep today. They had a 4-0 lead early and let it go by.
Dodgers 3, Cardinals 3 at the end of 2.
Fouled off by Jody.
Detroit added another run. It's Detroit 3, Texas nothing at the end of 4. Tigers, as I said, going for 9 in a row.
Now it's 1-2 to Davis with nobody on and 2 down. 2nd inning, no score. Ed Whitson and Randy Martz. Right at Cabell. Boy, ball was really hit, but it was right at him. He just had to take a quick half step toward the line. And it retires the side. No runs and 1 hit. No errors, a caught stealing, and nobody left. We played 2. Giants nothing, Cubs nothing.
Excuse me.
Yes? Yes?
Do you have a credit card application?
I do. I mean, a 76 credit card is a good idea for a single girl.
Why is that?
Well, you could buy tires, gas. Anything you want is yours.
Great.
Of course, we'll need your name.
Okay.
And your phone number.
All right.
And for your address.
Thanks.
Go with the spirit.
Hi, Nick.
The spirit of 76.
Nick? Let's listen to what these people learned when they took the Pepsi Challenge.
It's so candid that you just call the shot and there it is. Did you learn anything?
Like Pepsi better. Nationwide, more people prefer Pepsi over Coca-Cola.
I thought it would be like they picked actors and actresses and told them what to say.
Why did you think you picked Pepsi?
It tasted better. I am surprised. This is weird. I didn't think these things were true.
I didn't know it really tasted that good, but now I know.
People who let their taste aside pick Pepsi.
Pepsi?
The Yamaha Virago. With a unique combination of V-twin engine, monoshock suspension, and shaft drive, it's been a lot easier to want one than to find one.
Go to the third, top of the giant order. Morgan, Cabell, and Clark.
Home run Molitor for Milwaukee in the first. And so it's now 1-1, Milwaukee versus Minnesota at the end of one. Mets still lead Cincinnati 1-0. The Reds at bat in the third.
Morgan looks at ball one. He took strike three call to start the game. The only strikeout recorded in the early going by Randy Martz. He's walked three. He's going to drive it, but it'll be foul down the right side. When it left the bat, it was foul. One and one. To go to the third in Atlanta, Montreal still leading 1-0. That's Rogers over Mailer in that game. A ball and a strike. Boy, Martz just gives you that big, free, easy motion. Then after he shows you that curve and that palm ball, that fastball, really looks about 2 feet quicker, and there was one of them right there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's the palm ball, and he threw it in the dirt. All right, we're at the top of the hour. Let's pause quickly here for station identification.
This is WGN Television, Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
2-2 to Morgan. Off-speed pitch, and he's sending it out into shallow center. Bobby Bonds will camp under it now, and it's one away. The wind is blowing out here today. And when Bonds started, I think he thought he was going to have to come a little farther than he did. Then he pulled up and makes the catch.
Why don't we mention that Kingman and Banks and Starge will all have 11 career Grand Slammers now. In case the folks are interested, the National League record is 18 by Willie McCovey, and the Major League record is 23 by Lou Gehrig.
Bouncer short. He's got to circle that one and throw him out. Twice today, Cabell has been nipped on good fielding plays by DeJesus. Jack Clark walked in the first. He started a parade of 3 straight walks. As it turned out, it didn't hurt. But when you walk 3 and then get out of it with no problem, you get a little luck, too. He induced Leonard to hit into a force play. 1 ball and no strikes. That'll make it 2-0. See what Jody's. He wants to pitch him away here on 2-0. Just did slide off the corner. 3 balls and no strikes. Don't make it a good one on 3-0 to this guy. If that had been in a different zone, a fastball, but he kept it low. So it's 3-1 to Clark. giant right fielder. Taps it foul behind him, and it's 3-2. He fell behind him 3-0. Let's see if he can come back and get him. A payoff to Clark with 2 down. Had him reaching. After those 2 tape measure jabs he hit in here against the wind in the first 2 games. March pitched him carefully in the first inning, ended up walking him. Except for the 3-0 low fastball, he hasn't really thrown him a pitch that he could handle. And another payoff. Low fastball walked him. And that is walk number 4 by Randy March to go with 1 strikeout, and it'll bring up Darrell Evans. Evans also walked in the first inning. Chances are that under that giant jersey is a Howdy Doody shirt.
Well, that's his nickname.
A strike. It's 0-1.
Well, you think television isn't getting a little older? When was Howdy Doody popular? In the 50s, wasn't it?
Well, less
50s? Early 50s?
Uh-huh.
Buffalo Bob Smith, huh?
Hi, Buffalo Bob.
A strike to Evans. Clark not going at first. There's that foul ball, and he's got him in a hole 0-2. The thing that makes Evans a long ball threat is the fact that he gets a lot of bases on balls. Then you find yourself trying to thread the needle on him, and that's when he'll pop one. No balls, 2 strikes. He was a member of a ball club. He and 2 other fellows did something that had never been done before and hasn't been done since. 3 fellows on 1 big league team hit over 40 home runs. In '73, he and Henry Aaron and Davey Johnson, an unlikely candidate at that time, but he did it. High pop. When it comes down, Reitz will handle it. And Clark had to give him room. Side retired. No runs and no hits. No errors or walk. 1 Giant left. And after 2.5 at Wrigley Field on a Sunday, the Giants and the Cubs are battling and are scoreless.
Beach closed. Miller time.
Ball shrimp bar.
Let's go get a beer.
Yeah, we are. Everybody get in the car. Miller time, so pleasing. Now let's head it to the shipwreck bar. Hurry to the happy hour. Happy hour. Good times are here. Good times are here. Come on to the happy hour. Happy hour. Miller's got the beer. When it's time to relax, 1 beer stands free. When it's a happy hour, Miller's got the beer.
Without enough electricity, life just wouldn't be the same. In northern Illinois, that is not a problem today because we planned ahead yesterday. But if we don't keep planning, tomorrow could be a lot less fun.
Sport Mart saved new balanced top-rated training shoes for men and women. Schaumburg, Niles, Lombard, Calumet City, Oakland, and Clark, and Halstead in Chicago. Thank you very much. All right, Kenny Reitz is here, Jack. Now, this is a good spot to get something going.
Yes, as a matter of fact, Kenny Reitz wearing 44 reminds us the Yankees just got their second 4-run inning, so they're 44 in 2 innings, and they lead 8-0 over Kansas City.
They got another homer, this time out of Gamble.
Ball 1 strike 1 the count now to Kenny Reitz. He'll be followed by DeJesus and then Randy March. Whitson fires that fastball a little bit low. Fooled him with it. 1-2.
Texas tightened it up on Detroit. They get 2 in the 5th, so it's now 3-2 Tigers. Tigers now batting in the 5th inning.
Kenny Reitz, 237 hitter. Low and away. Ball 3, strike 2. And he has asked the umpire to look at the ball. Wire O'Casey.
Well, you don't think an old country boy from Johnson City, Tennessee would be doing anything to a baseball?
Why, of course not. That's illegal. 3-2. Ground ball. Foul. Third base side. Still 3-2. Herndon, Leonard, Clark, and left, center, and right. Evans, Smith, Morgan, Cavell, the infield third to first. Battery, Whitson and May. Eddie Whitson trying to square up for the year. He's 4-5, and his opposite number is doing the same thing because he also is 4-5. Strike. So Reitz now strikes out, and that is strikeout number 3 for Whitson. Here's DeJesus, hitless in 6 in the series, hitting 170 now. No homers, 6 RBIs. High foul out of play. Strike 1. The wind is out of the southwest at about 7 miles an hour today, which means it's not really much of a factor, although it may have been an influencing factor on that foul ball that fell behind Jody Davis, because it did go pretty high, and sometimes when a ball goes that high, the wind can, of course, affect it, if there is any. Notion to bunt. Changed his mind. 1-1. Whitson is what you call sneaky fast. Good slider. One and one. Ground ball bouncing out to Morgan. Routine. 2 out. That brings up the pitcher, Randy Marks. Randy 1-0 against the Giants. That also is his lifetime. And as usual, they will play him to swing a little late. Matter of fact, Clark's giving him a lot of room between himself and the line out there in right field. If he were to pull one, Randy could wind up on third.
Yeah, Clark's going to be 100 feet off the right field line.
Strike 0-2. There it is. Notice the distance between the right fielder and the foul line. One and 2. Whitson pitching him outside that time. He didn't want to embarrass the right fielder. Very high. It's 2-2.
Try to get him to chase a high rising fastball that time.
Too low. Full count. Foul ball on the 3-2 pitch.
And Milt May, when he dropped that finger, said, quit fooling around with this guy. Just throw him your good Hummer, and he did, but he got enough of it to stay alive.
Foul ball again. Still 3-2. Randy Marks using up a fair share of time in the batter's box. So if they get him, trying to make them earn it. breeze that slider past me. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left, and strikeout number 4 there for Woodson. So now at the end of 3 full innings, the score of the ball game, Giants nothing, Cubs nothing.
Hi, Pat Summerall. Get book 2 of my 64-page full-color Sports Stars collection free with any $10 purchase at participating True Value hardware stores.
And right now, you can celebrate end-of-summer savings with their pre-Labor Day Carnival of Value circular, where you'll find this Mayfair soft toilet seat for just $9.95, this master padlock and self-coiling cable for only $5.99, and this lightweight True Temper rake, just $2.33, at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
We do one thing
like no one else can do.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. We do chicken right.
America's favorite bite of the bite.
Delicious fried chicken. We do it right for you.
Can I have a little bite? I don't have to drumstick.
Nope.
No other fried chicken tastes so right.
That's good.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. We do chicken right.
The leadoff hitter for the Giants in the 4th inning, as we view one of Arnie's hat shots, is Larry Herndon. He'll be followed by Leonard, then May. Hi, folks. That's what it's all about. Enjoy baseball in the sunshine. Fresh air. By the way, welcome to our network stations today again. WTVO Rockford, WCIA Champaign, WMBD Peoria, WNDU South Bend, WFFT Fort Wayne, KCRG Cedar Rapids, which means they're watching in Fairfield, Iowa, too, Milo. KDUB Dubuque, and of course our flagship station, WGN Television 9, Chicago. I'm Jack Brickhouse, along with Milo Hamilton, Cubs and the Giants. And welcome wherever you are in this great land of ours today. Ball 1. Cubs with Steve Henderson in left, Bobby Bonds in center, Leon Durham in right, Reitz at third, DeJesus at short, Tabler at second, Buckner at first, the battery Randy Martz and Jody Davis. Toronto's fought back with 2 in the 5th, but they're still way down to the White Sox. White Sox 8, Toronto 2. Minnesota 2, Milwaukee 1. Brewers at bat in the 2nd. We got a pitching change up there at Milwaukee. Augustine is now pitching for Milwaukee in the 2nd. Haas left with a stiff neck. Fly ball, pretty well hit deep to left center. It is off the wall out there between Henderson and Bonds. Henderson shags it down, and there goes Herndon streaking for third. He's in there, saved. A triple for Larry Herndon. That's his 7th 3-base hit this year. And he's been wearing out the Cub pitching. He's now 5 for 10 in this series against the Cubs. Ties him for 2nd in triples with Herr of St. Louis, Marino of Pittsburgh, and Templeton of the Cardinals. Reynolds of Houston and Richards of San Diego lead with 9. Here's Jeff Leonard. Man on third, and the Cub infield, with the exception of DeJesus, pulls in a little bit.
Timing's everything. Thank goodness he didn't get that in the 1st inning. They're going to appeal at second base.
Nope. In other words, the appeal on that one is that he missed second. And in a spot like that, if the umpire spots it, he says nothing. It's up to the defense to spot it and appeal. Now, if the umpire had noticed that he did miss second base, in that case, the batter would be out. That is a ball 1. In a barnstorming game one time between Dizzy Dean's All-Stars and Satchel Paige's All-Stars, Dean led off the inning with a triple off the Satch and stood on third base and really laughed it up. and really needled Satch. And Satch walked over and said, Mr. Dean, that's where you are and that's where you stay. And he proceeded to strike out the side on 9 pitches. 2-0.
Who was laughing then?
Strike. Ball 2, strike 1.
Cardinals are now leading Los Angeles 5-3 at the end of 3.
Strike 2 and 2. You know, Shoeless Joe Jackson with the White Sox was illiterate, but he could hit a ball. And some guy down at Sox Park was needling him all afternoon one time. Spell cat, Joe. Spell cat. Spell cat, Joe. Spell cat. Pretty soon, Jackson got up and he banged one for 3 bases, stood on third base and yelled at this guy in the seats. He said, spell triple, you blankety blank. 2 and 2. High foul, out of play, 2 and 2.
Young Rod Scurry, that curveball artist, has got a good one going today, evidently, Jack. He and the Pirates are out in front of the Padres. 5-0 at the end of 6.
Ball 2, strike 2. Man on third, nobody out. Infield all pulled in now. DeJesus has crept up as well. Ooh, there's a wild pitch that's going to score a run. Oh, boy. Herndon crossing the plate easily, unchallenged on that wild pitch on the 2-2 count.
Looked to me like his palm ball, and he just didn't get it anywhere near where he wanted it. And once he threw it down into the ground, and that's what that palm ball does, it just jumped over Davis. He had no chance to head it off.
So it's 1-0 San Francisco now. Ball 3, strike 2 to the batter. Nobody out. Strike. Fooled him with a high pitch. Leonard went for it. Struck out. That brings up the catcher, Milt May. Came in with that one just 1 pitch too late. That's a strike. 0-2. No ball, strike 2 count. Well, there's another one just like the wild pitch that brought in the run. Ball 1, strike 2.
He's going to keep doing it till he gets it right.
That's a little low, 2-2. Ball 2, strike 2. Well hit deep to right, and it is grabbed out there by Durham, right near the vines. Milt May giving it a very good ride. 2 out. That'll bring up the shortstop, Billy Smith. Well, between the wild pitches and the palm balls that get away and the long balls that nearly go, Jody Davis started this game. He was 24 years old catching March, but he's going to be about 104 if he stays in there for 9 innings the way it's going. That's a ball. Ball 1. Base hit. Drive to right field. So Billy Smith is on. That brings up the pitcher, Ed Whitson. Ed was victimized by an outstanding play by Pat Tapper the last time up. That time it was the third out. He's in a spot where he can make the third out again now. Two out. Foul ball. Cardinals 5, Los Angeles 3 at the end of 3. D. Reich 1. Ball 1, strike 1. There's a drive by the pitcher into right field, a base hit, and it's misplayed by Durham out there. Although I doubt if there'll be an error. I think they will rule that Smith would have made it to third anyway. But that can make the adrenaline flow and the heart start to pump a little bit if you're the manager of a ball club to see your right fielder play this one this way. Any ruling, Mono?
Well, I'm looking across. He was just watching the replay, and he has not reached. And now he's reaching for the mic.
All right, Randy Minkoff of UPI is the scorer, and he just calls it a single, no error. Smith was running with the pitch anyway, so now Joe Morgan is the batter, and the Cub bullpen finds Willie Hernandez and Howell up. Hits now for the Giants, 1 for the Cubs. A little high, ball 1. Morgan started the day being called out on strikes, sent a fly to center the last time up. Ball 1. Fade. Pulling with a high curve. 1-1. Outfield straight away, fairly deep. 1-1. Ball 2, strike 1. Joe Morgan may be a little past his prime right now, but he's still a very, very fine and a leader-type ball player.
Well, he did a lot for Houston last year. I think that's why the big surprise came when they let him go.
2-1. High outside. Ball 3, strike 1. He was at a banquet one year in the off-season. George Steinbrenner of the Yankees was there after George had bought a couple of those high-priced free agents. And Joe's line, when he got up to the microphone, he looked at Steinbrenner and says, "You got any money left?" I'm a free agent. Ball 3, strike 1. Smith on third, Whitson on first. That's a strike. Full count now, 3-2. Ball 1-3, strike 2. That's a ball. He's on. That loads him for Cabell. So the Giants have Smith on third, Whitson on second. Now Joe Morgan on first, and the first baseman, Enos Cabell, is up.
The 8th place and number 9 hitters, Hurt Martz. Now he's paying for it.
Here is what you would term a key moment in the old ball game. Strike. At the moment, it's a very tight game, 1-0. Giants. But right now, a base hit with the bases full could give the Giants a pretty impressive lead. Foul ball. 0-2. So Randy bears down and gets 2 strikes on him fast.
Dodger rookie catcher Socia just hit his first home run. That tightens it up at St. Louis after 3.5. Redbirds 5, Dodgers 4.
Got a ding-donger going down there, huh?
Minnesota and Milwaukee 2-2 after 2. Preseason pro football. Eagles 19, New Orleans 7 at the end of 3 quarters.
0-2. Here we go. Curve low and away as he wasted one. Ball 1, strike 2.
Texas caught Detroit. They're 3-3 after 5.5.
One and 2. Ground ball back a second into center field, goes on through. Smith is in. Whitson is in. Morgan stops at second. Giants 3, Cubs nothing. Cabell sending one that had eyes right through the infield. That takes care of 2 of them. Oh, boy. That brings out Joey. And that'll be all probably for Randy Martz.
2 pitchers for the Cubs will be number 45, Jay Howell.
And Jay Howell is now coming in. Fourth inning. This is Jay Howell, who admittedly does not have a blazing fastball. He's got a major league type fastball, and he was telling us down the bullpen today that he holds it across 4 seams, and that makes the ball rise. He doesn't throw a sinking fastball.
He's going to come on for the 4th time as a Cub, 3rd time in relief. 1 win, no losses, ERA 3.86, 7 in the 3rd innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, no gopher balls, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Randy Martz just didn't have it here today. His relief work recently was much more impressive than this starting assignment. After he got 2 away after the triple in the 4th inning, he'd wild pitched in a run, but he had a chance to get out of it because he struck out Leonard and he got May on a line drive to right. But where he got hurt was letting Smith, the 8-hitter, who's batting about 135, get a base hit. And then the pitcher, Whitson, who just isn't known for being a hitting pitcher. And then when he walked Morgan, he was looking at another bases-loaded situation. It was his 2nd in the game. He walked the bases loaded in the 1st. So Howell is on and Martz is gone.
Well, we have a moment here, Milo. I'd like to mention something of a little different nature. One of our best friends is Paul Malloy, who is the former radio television editor of the Chicago Sun-Times, the author of several good books, including a pennant for the Kremlin, and a real funny book about a cat that inherited a baseball team. Should have made a movie out of it. Anyway, Paul, an admitted alcoholic, has come up with a great bestseller called Where Did Everybody Go? The Portrait of an Alcoholic. And the reason I mention it is because he refers in some measure to the people in sports, professional sports, with an alcoholic problem. He mentions, for example, Bob Welch, Dodger pitcher, strike. He mentions Ryan Duran, former pitcher with the Yankees. Darrell Porter, the Kansas City catcher, who's now with the Cardinals. Don Newcomb, the former Dodger pitcher, Cy Young winner. Strike. And Don is now the head of the Dodger Alcoholic Rehabilitation Program. He mentions Dennis Lick of the Bears. These are all people who have publicly, admittedly, said that they have had a problem with alcohol. And the thing that bothers me is that Don Newcomb says because of the immense pressures of professional sport, pressures of baseball, he estimates that 15% of the professional ball players have an alcohol problem. Now, that's 1 out of 6 almost. I didn't realize that, but it's very interesting reading, and it's downright inspirational. I can understand why the book's in about its 3rd printing now. 2-1, and if you miss Malloy at home, it's because he's out here at the ballpark. He's a fan. 2-1. Little high. Ball 3, strike 1.
Oh, don't throw that pitch up there to this guy. He'll hide it.
Ball 3, strike 1 now to Jack Clark with 2 men on. 2 out. And the Giants ahead 3-0. Strike. Ball 3, strike 2. He was all set to stroll down to first base. This ball game is in the Giant half of number 4. Well, nobody covering.
Oh, he
had
could
to go through with it.
Lucky he didn't gun it toward first base, because Durham is way over in right center. There'd have been nobody to retrieve it. And the way Cabell can run, he might have been right on Morgan's footprints, following him in.
Fly ball, right field. That's pretty deep back there. It is. Oh, Durham caught the ball on his knees. That is something. Did you see that recovery by Durham? Wow. First of all, looked like the ball had a chance for the vines. Secondly, Durham now has a chance for the ball, but he slips and falls, and look at this recovery. Boy, that's what you call major league reflex action.
His spikes didn't hold in the cinders.
Woo-wee.
Man.
Well, if Joey doesn't have gray hair at the end of this ball game, he'll be able to survive to the age of at least 100. In the inning, 3 runs. 4 hits, no errors, 2 left. Well, anybody can catch a ball the easy way. Nice going, Leon. Give the folks a little entertainment for their ticket. Ooh. We're going to the Cub half of number 4. San Francisco 3, the Cubs nothing.
Compare the quality of any Toyota against any economy car. That's your Toyota dealer's quality challenge. Compare the front-wheel drive Tercel, our lowest price model. Starlet, highest gas mileage car in America. Celica, luxury and performance with Toyota value. See why Corolla's the best-selling car in the world. Compare our low sticker prices to begin with, and compare the deal you'll end with. That's your Toyota dealer's quality challenge. After all, we wrote the book on quality.
Come on, guys, I'm all fished out. Besides, it's just about Miller time.
It's about that time. It's about that time. I'm going back. The sun's about to set. It's time for the finest beer a man can get. When it's time to relax, one business clear. You got the time.
you're invited now to join all the Cubs at the Cubs Care Benefit Dinner scheduled at the Radisson September 13th. A fun night. Proceeds to cancer programs at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. Each player will host a table. That's the Cubs Care Benefit, September 13th. Call the hospital, Northwestern Memorial Hospital, or the Cubs for details. This message furnished by the Chicago Cubs. And Steve Henderson leading off, and in the leadoff spot. Fouls that first pitch for strike one. The Cubs have an uphill battle on their hands now. It's San Francisco 3, the Chicago Cubs nothing, and Steve Henderson is way overdue to go on a streak. He's due for a real spree, Milo.
Has not had a hit in this series.
He hasn't done anything to amount to anything since he got a triple and a single back in that Pittsburgh series. Strike one. That's a ball. Ball one, strike one. One and one. Goes for the curve, 1 and 2. Terrible thing to do to a rookie catcher, but you have to take that home run away from Scioscia from the Dodgers. 1 and 2. The wire service is back in midseason form. They've got their timing back now since the strike. Dropped by Cabell, picks it up over to the pitcher. Time for the recovery, and Cabell made it.
Yes, as it says in the ticker, correction. Home run for Los Angeles by Sachs, not Scioscia. Sachs was the youngster, you remember, they brought up while they were here to replace the injured Davy Lopes. It was his first major league home run.
Matter of fact, he got a base hit his first at bats in the major leagues while he was here. Stopped playing, gave him the ball. Here's Tabler.
8-2 White Sox after 7 at Toronto.
Ball one. Ball one. One and one. Tabler. In case you're kind of a new fan, you wonder what that dark stuff is on their cheekbones underneath their eyes. That's lamp black. They'll put it on there to keep down the glare of the sun on their cheekbones. Fly ball to right. And Jack Clark takes this one. I'd like to see that Tabler start to get around on some of those pitches, Milo. I think he's swinging defensively now, which a rookie can be expected to do.
Well, in his last 2 years in pro ball, he hit 33 home runs, so he's hit them out of some parks.
That's right. In minor league ball, he has had the confidence to be an aggressive hitter. And he needs to get a couple of pretty good base hits here, and he'll probably do the same thing in the big show. Here's Bill Buckner. Foul ball. Strike one. Pop-up. Who wants it? Right fielder Clark coming in. All his. Buckner's out. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Another 1-2-3 inning. Matter of fact, Woodson has retired 8 in a row since that single to Durham. And so we go to the San Francisco fifth now. Score the ball game. Giants 3, Cubs nothing.
Now, Zenith System 3 is more. The PRP circuit. For more picture details. More picture sharpness. 25% more. 4 speakers for more sound. Built-in cable tuning for access to more channels. 105 channels. Zenith System 3. We're moving television into the future.
Tracy Austin.
I'm pro photographer Arthur Grace.
To some, I'm still a schoolgirl. To others, I'm a tough competitor.
My Canon AE-1 captures the two Tracy Austins. First, how hard she works. Then, how soft she is. Here, your turn, Tracy.
The AE-1 makes it easy to shoot like a pro. The incomparable Canon AE-1. So advanced, it's simple. Canon, the official photographic consultant to Major League Baseball.
This ball game is going now to the Giant half of number 5. Giant fifth. Giants leading 3-0. Hey, Lou.
Yes.
Old pal of yours from Harvey, Illinois. You've heard of Harvey.
Yes.
Was nice enough to give the old man here a plug when he did a guest shot on the Tonight Show the other night.
Oh, Mr. Dreesen.
Yeah.
There's Mr. Harvey, Illinois. He's taken some giant strides in the entertainment world, I'm happy to say.
Not bad for a guy who was at one time sleeping in his car.
Not bad is right.
That's right. That's two of us. That's a long time.
Okay, give me a rundown on Martz. What's the difference when he starts and when he relieves?
Well, I thought today, I'd talk with Randy tomorrow, but I thought he was dropping his arm a little bit into a three-quarter throw instead of up and over. Now, pitchers will get into these habits of not knowing it. I don't know whether Moss went out there and talked to him about it or not, but from my observation, he was just dropping his arm a little bit. He had a good fastball today. He just couldn't control it.
Darrell Evans leading off against Young Howell. A little high, ball 1.
Those White Sox doing a little war dance in Toronto. It's 11-2, White Sox with the 11.
That's hit. That's pretty deep out there, and Durham leaps up in right field and pulls this one in and takes it away from Evans.
Jack, this is the third time in this series that Evans has hit that ball that hard and in the crevice right there where the catch can be made. Had he moved over, if he's hit the ball just about 10 feet towards center field, he'd have had 3 home runs. Durham timed that beautifully.
You saw a picture book timing job, a real big league job.
Not the time before on the third out, but that one was.
That was right out of Grant Park, wasn't it?
Goodness.
Looked like he'd put too much pressure on the back foot, and the spikes just wouldn't hold. They slipped right out from under it.
Well, he probably did a little Ty Cobb business earlier in the clubhouse by filing those spikes and just got them too sharp.
Lou, can that kind of timing be taught? The timing we just now saw?
No, that's an instinct, Jack, that the outfielders especially have to know where they are on that warning track near that wall and then go after the ball.
To Jesus. And it's short to first on Herndon for out number 2, and that'll bring up the center fielder Leonard. Nobody on. Two out.
We've seen Durham battle that sun. This is a tough right field when it becomes around 3:30 here. But he has played right field quite well, in my opinion. And, gentlemen, in my opinion, we have a second baseman for a number of years. He's made 2 great plays, one yesterday going to his left, one today going to his right.
I didn't think the ball today, he had a chance. I thought the ball was up the middle.
The play wasn't catching the ball. The play was stopping, throwing overhand, and getting something on the ball to retire Whitson. Even though it was a pitcher, the play had to be perfect, and he made it.
Ball 2, no strikes. Jeff Leonard.
The Reds got Seaver in front, 2-1.
Ball 3, 3-0. Ball 3, no strikes. That's a strike. Well, we got a honey of a race. Have you noticed that race in the American League West? 2 games separating the first and fifth place teams, but in the National League West, only 1 game separates the first and fifth place teams. Houston, Los Angeles, and San Francisco tied a half game out. Cincinnati in 5th place, 1 game out. Boy.
The next 2 weeks will really be very important for every ball club.
Line fly, right field. It is grabbed out there by Durham. It hung up there for him. Leonard is out. It's a 1-2-3 inning, but a fairly exciting one, especially for Durham. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Let's go now to the Cub half of number 5. Durham will lead off, score the ball game. San Francisco 3, the Cubs nothing.
Okay, we got it. Great shot. You got me. Come on, Slowpoke. It's Miller time.
When it's time to relax, Miller's got the beer.
Hey, Cookies.
We'll miss your service, Murph.
Oh, there's good 76 stations in your new hometown.
Not like Murph.
But every dealer can't be Merv. That's right. Every 76 dealer is his own man. And everyone that I know is trying his best. And that's the spirit of 76. Good luck.
Say, we're new in town and looking for a 76 station.
Of course, it'll be hard to beat our old one.
Maybe you've heard of it. Mort 76?
Mort?
Go with the spirit.
Trying our best. That's the spirit.
The spirit of 76.
Holy Toledo, there goes one over the fence, a true link fence. Call the team that's been winning since 1952. Illinois' largest fence company. For beauty, privacy, security, call TrueLink, 463-7010.
Well, hi, folks. From left to right, Boudreaux, Hamilton, and a guy from Peoria. And there you see the San Francisco booth. There's Gary Park, used to be with Channel 9 in Chicago, and Lindsey Nelson, who's going to retire from daily play-by-play action at the end of this year. But he'll be busy. And Durham swings on the first pitch, and he handcuffs Enos Cabell. And so, that's the second time now that Durham's gotten on base in this ball game. Both times with singles. And he has the only 2 hits the Cubs own. Giants 3, Cubs nothing. Bobby Bonds is up. Let's look at this one again, Lou.
Well, this is a tough play for Cabell. It takes that high hop, and off of Durham's bat, it just had spin on it, and it looks as if it hit him on the wrist. We're blocked from our view to the trainer. Is it his hand that they're fixing? Yes, it is. It's the right wrist or thumb.
Yeah, Joe Licio, the trainer.
It's the thumb, and that ball really.
And Perry Archibald, the other trainer for the Giants, and I think that's Perry. And as you can see, Frank Robinson is talking to Enos.
He wants to stay in the ball game. He says to Frank, "Go ahead, let's go." Frank wants to know if he can throw the ball. He's kidding with him a little bit. He wants to throw. Frank wants him to throw a couple so he can grip the ball. It's on his right thumb. Now he's going to play catch with Milt May. Ball was hit very sharply to Cabell, and I'll say one thing for him. He didn't shy from it. He stayed in front of it. Here's the play, and once that ball comes off of that grass and hits that dirt, it increases its velocity. And you cannot judge the exact height of that ball, and Cabell didn't.
All right, here's Bobby Bonds. Nobody out, man on first. Cubs facing Ed Whitson, who went to the Giants in '79 in that Bill Madlock deal.
It's been quite a few days where the Cubs have had 2 or 3 or 4 hits in a row, and we're due for that to have a good inning.
Ball 2, 2-0. Bonds looking down at Cookie now to see if the take sign's on. Ball 2, no strikes.
There are just certain pitchers that do things with certain clubs, and Whitson has really been successful with the Cubs.
Yes, he has. Even when he was with Pittsburgh.
Oh. Ball 2, strike 1.
You know, with his stuff, Lou, I just don't understand why he doesn't beat a lot of other clubs.
There's Joey and on the right, and Les Moss on his left, hoping for a base hit here.
That's too high. Ball 3, strike 1.
Well, he didn't want that pitch up there with Clark playing clear over in right center, I'll tell you that.
No, that pitch got away from Whitson. Now with 3-1, we'll see if Joe sends Durham on a run and hit, trying to keep out of Bonds hitting into a double play.
Fly ball out to short right field, and it's falling kind of fast out there. Base hit. And it skips on past Jack Clark, and everybody's going to take the extra base. Cub runners at second and third.
We got a break. Bonds hit the ball on the end of his bat. And Milo just mentioned that Clark was playing in right center. This pitch is outside. It's hit on the end of the bat, and it sort of slices near the foul line. And once this ball takes that bounce, Clark coming in very fast just eludes Clark. It had a little English on it.
Yes, and because of that spin, the scorer has called it a two-base hit.
I agree with him. And that's Bonds' 5th double of the year. And now we're back into this ball game if we can score both of those men.
And Don McMahon knows it. He's out there now to have a little talk with the pitcher. And there's a little action out there in the Giant bullpen. Jody Davis will bat next for the Cubs. Nobody out. 2 men in scoring position. The man on third is Durham. The man on second, Bobby Bonds.
That's Brining, a right-hander, and the left-hander is LaBelle. Milwaukee has taken a 3-2 lead over Minnesota at the end of 3.5 innings of play.
So the outfield will play to the left and fairly deep. Here's Jody. He's been pretty good lately at getting wood on the ball with men on base. Ball 1.
Giants are giving the Cubs 1 run to get the out. Their infield is playing deep.
Last time he came to bat with men in scoring position, he singled and drove one in. That was yesterday. Foul ball. 1-1. Ball 1, strike 1. You want to hear some noise? Watch this guy get a base hit. Too high. Ball 2, strike 1. They're playing Jody to pull it. Ball 2, strike 1. Foul ball. 2-2. I thought I had the sign for a minute there, Lou. I thought I was seeing a curveball signal for, but I'm not sure now.
I'm not sure what that ball was. It might have been his slider, but it did not break very much for his curveball. He had it in a good spot over the outside of the plate, and Jody did not have a good swing at that ball. But he has to be ready for a fastball here.
Well,
Whitson has a good fastball.
Let's see what the indicator is here, if we can find it. Breaking pitch. Got him.
That's the curveball outside.
And of course, with Bobby Bonds staring down from second base at the sign, they have to have a sign switch perhaps here, because otherwise, having seen a couple of pitches, Bobby can flash it to the batter. He'll pick it up. Here's third baseman Ken Reitz, also a former Giant. Little inside, says Wire. Ball one. Rick Ferrari, Andy Crane chief, sitting in that spot for quite a while. Ground ball, and it's back to second. It's going to bring one in at least. Reitz is thrown out. The man on third, Durham, comes across, and Bonds takes third. Well, that's one run.
Fine play by Morgan. He had to go behind second base. This ball went right over Whitson's left shoulder, and he wanted to make the play. Fell down. But Morgan made a very fine play behind second, and he knew that Reitz does not go down the line very fast, so he took his here's the play, and here's the run scoring from third base on the throw to Cabell. So it's a 3-1 ball game now.
Now to Jesus is at bat with 2 out. Bobby Bonds on third. Score: Giants 3, Cubs 1. Three hits for the Cubs now. That's a ball. Ball one. Come on, Ivan.
Cubs need a hit in this spot, but so does Ivan. More than that, this would pick him up. He's 0 for 8 in this series.
One and one. Yes, he's been dropped to the 8th spot, of course. Ground ball, deep short, and it's going to bring one in. The ball was juggled by Smith. I think that would have been a base hit anyway.
This is a tough decision for the official scorer. You are correct, because Smith had to charge that ball. It was not hit sharply. It just got by the third baseman, Evans. He's the only one that can make the play, in my opinion. And Smith had to make a sensational play.
Base hit.
It's a base hit and an RBI.
So it's now 3-2.
There's the short hop. And when you're on the move like that, it's very difficult for an infielder not only to catch the ball cleanly, but to take it out of your glove and make the throw to first. And that is all in the consideration of whether it's a base hit or an error.
While we're waiting for the pinch hitter Cruz, let's pause for station identification.
This is WGN Television, Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
The ball game is now in the Cub half of number 5. Cubs battling back here at 3 o'clock Central Daylight Saving Time at Wrigley Field. And Hector Cruz, a .256 hitter, is stepping in. He has 23 hits this year, 5 doubles and 7 home runs. He leads this ball club in homers with that 7. And here's a fellow who can put the Cubs out in front of this game right now. Let's see if DeJesus tries it, too, before it's over, because Ivan DeJesus is, of course, the Cubs' outstanding base stealer.
But, Jack, I think Abel-Patano will give Cruz 2 swings at the plate. If DeJesus is thrown out, you lose your pinch hitter. So at least I think he'll give him 2 good swings at the plate to get a base hit.
DeJesus has 18 stolen bases.
Oh, did he call that a strike? A late call.
The board registers strike 1 on that one.
Tom Seaver's on a roll now that they've gotten him the lead. He's retired 16 batters in a row against the Mets.
Pitched 8 2/3 innings of shutout ball the last time out, didn't he? Foul ball, 0-2.
That curve-balling lefty, the youngster that looks so good here, Scurry, beat San Diego for the Pirates today, 5-2. Welsh was the loser. Romo got his 9th save.
White Sox look like they can walk home now. They are leading Toronto 13-2. Toronto batting in the bottom of the 9th inning. A breather for Trout.
Well, if they can't walk home with that, don't leave any high windows open around La Russa.
That's true.
Pitch out.
There was a pitch out, so now we may see DeJesus attempt to steal on this pitch. I don't believe that May will call for another pitch out in this particular spot. So maybe we can get that tying run to second base.
Ball one, strike two. Here we go. And the Giants suspected that possibility, too. That's why you just saw a throw to first base. But maybe they might be able to nip them. If they don't do anything else, maybe they can shorten that leadoff. Little conference now. Morgan and the catcher, Milt May, want to talk to Whitson.
Now, Morgan's coming in there, the veteran, who takes charge. Very knowledgeable, perhaps is telling Whitson and May, this is the spot that DeJesus may attempt to steal. So if you want to gamble, go ahead and call for another pitch out.
Well, the Cubs probably know why that conference was held. And because of that, they may not let DeJesus go. Ball two, strike two.
Well, I tell you, even when Whitson misses the strike zone, it's tantalizing, isn't it?
Close, yes.
Ball two, strike two. There's a high foul ball. Back of first. Out by the bullpen. And it's in and out of Cabell's glove out there. Cubs caught a break on that one.
Yeah, great effort by Cabell. This wind is carrying it away from Cabell as the wind is continuing to blow out. And he makes a great stab at this ball, but misses. So Cruz gets another opportunity.
Speaking of first baseman, I just noticed the other day where John Milner was traded to Montreal for Willie Montanez.
And he's done quite well over there.
Milner has, yes.
Hit a home run.
Won a game, didn't it?
Yes.
Ball two, strike two.
I don't understand that trade.
I don't either. Again, a foul ball. Out of play.
Pitch was out of the strike zone, but Cruz saw the fastball and was a little anxious to go after it.
A manager like Tanner, who likes versatility, Montanez can only play one place. Milner can play right, left, and first base.
Yes, but you do things like that to shake up your ball club. And since that time, Pittsburgh has been scoring some runs.
That's too high. Full count now, 3-2 to Eddie Cruz.
The White Sox only got 21 hits today. Young Trout must have felt like he pitched that game in a rocking chair. White Sox beat Toronto 13-2, a 4-hitter by Trout.
Ball three, strike two. There he goes. And that's ball four. That puts two men on and brings up Steve Henderson. As we all agree, way overdue for a base hit. What a spot for it if he could come up with it now. Giants 3, Cubs 2. Here comes Steve. 0 for 10 in this series.
Looking right on Howell, 1 1/3 innings.
Jay Howell did his job.
He stopped them. Now we're right back in this ball game with a chance not only to tie it up but go out in front here if Henderson can throw one in between those outfielders for an extra base hit.
If I read my scorecards right, Henderson is 0 for 14 now. Come on, Stevie. Jesus on second. On first base is Cruz. And there's the base hit. All right. Brand new ball game. There comes DeJesus streaking across the plate as Henderson reaches up and flats one out there on the line to left center field. That's pulling out of it, Stevie boy. He's all tied up 3-3. Yeah.
There was no doubt about the ball getting past the shortstop because it was well hit. And DeJesus scores easily on the play. Brand new ball game.
So Hector Cruz stops at second, and Pat Tabler is up now. 2 on, 2 out. Come on, rookie.
The key to the downfall of both starting pitchers was the 8-hitter. Hurt them both.
Foul ball. Strike 1.
If they continue to pitch this kid the way they're pitching, he's going to hit one into right center, gentlemen. I'll predict that.
He told me on the leadoff yesterday he can hit him. He has good power to right center and left center.
Yes, he does.
Like to see him prove it. Right now. That's too low. Ball 1, strike 1.
He could get some help if he got a ball up in the air toward right center here.
Yeah, that wind seems to be increased over that 7-mile-an-hour velocity when we started the ball game. There's a ground ball. Joe Morgan has it. A quick flip to second to Smith covering for the force there on Henderson. And that retires the side. But a brand new ball game as the Cubs come up with 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and 2 left. And at the end of 5 complete innings, the Giants 3, the Cubs 3.
The year-end Toyota rush is on. Time to cook up a deal on a brand new Corolla. Toyota's prices may never be lower on the world's best-selling car line. Saddle up Toyota's lowest price car, the gas-saving front-wheel drive Corolla Tercel. See your Toyota dealer before they're all gone.
Oh, what a feeling to feel Toyota.
Don't mean to nag you, but...
How come so many professionals wear Brute? Because the great smell of Brute makes a guy feel good. And that's important when you've got to take on the world every day. That's why so many professionals also wear Brute 33 antiperspirant spray. It helps keep you dry, and it gives you that long-lasting deodorant protection. And it has the great smell of Brute. Hey, if you're going to smell great, why not smell great all over?
Make every day your Brute Day with Brute 33 deodorants and antiperspirants.
Well, the ball game is going down to the Giant half of number 6. It's a brand new ball game. From here on out, things could get a little bit on the exciting side, Marlo.
Well, we talked yesterday about Bobby Bonds playing for his life with a contract. You've got a pitcher coming on right now who knows that he's got to start making an impression on somebody because this has been a tough year. I have to say amen to that, right?
Yes, definitely. That's Willie Hernandez.
Hernandez spent most of this year in AAA. He's going to be looking at Milt May, who has bounced to short and lined to right. Smith is on deck. The pitcher is due up third, but they're still loosening a right-hander in their bullpen. And a strike to May.
Cardinals 8, Dodgers 4 at the end of 6. Detroit and Texas 3-3 at the end of 8.
Ripley is loosening in the Giant bullpen. So Willie Hernandez, 1 win and 9 losses. That's last year. Bouncer short, nice big hop for DeJesus, slow man running, and he got it. That goes right with what you talk about, that infielder constantly thinking who it is.
He can take his time.
Knew he didn't have to rush it.
That's right. And he wouldn't have played May that deep if he hadn't have known about his speed. Had it been a faster man, he would have shortened up at shortstop.
Here is Smith, 1 for 2. He'll turn it around and bat right-handed now. He is 2 for 6 with an RBI in this series. He scored their second run in the 4th inning. At the moment, we are tied 3-3. Giants got 3 in the 4th. The Cubs answered with 3 of their own in the 5th. Hernandez, our third pitcher. Now that is a Willie Hernandez velocity right there.
That's a good fastball, and he's up and over. He's not trying to be cute now out there, I hope. And I just hope he stays with this good fastball and good breaking pitch.
2 balls and a strike. Low with his Swifty that time. Falls behind him 3-1. Come on, Willie. Don't let this 8-hitter hurt this club again. He did in the 4th inning. After 2 out, he got the hit that really enabled them to go on and have an inning.
Started it with a single to right.
That's the way. Saw it off.
That foul ball hit Jody Davis right in the right shoulder or right arm, and he's in pain.
That'll bring Tony Garofalo out. Hit right up, right near the collarbone, didn't it?
Yes, that's a very difficult spot for a catcher. I never did realize why ball clubs would not extend protection out over that right shoulder. I know it has some effect on throwing to second base, and that's why the catchers do not like to wear it.
He's going to make him flex it a little bit. Maybe he can just work it out. But, boy, that had to sting him.
That could be right on that collarbone.
And they'll have to watch him carefully also in another inning or so, because when he goes back to that bench, that thing could stiffen up, couldn't it?
Yes, that's right.
They're going to let him throw a couple here.
Take a few practice throws to loosen it up.
Lou, you heard me talk about that Pittsburgh win over San Diego 5-2 in Scurry. Have you seen a better curveball in a young left-hander in a while?
No, he's going to be an outstanding superstar, in my opinion. The youngster is a great curveball, and he has poise. Great poise on the mound.
Okay, a hand for Jody from the crowd, because they know that had to hurt. And here's the 3-2, and he ended up walking him. First pass given up by Hernandez. That is the 6th walk given to the Giants in this game. Randy March dodged a full-blown bullet in the 1st inning. Walked the bases full after 2.
I don't believe I've seen Randy get that wild for 3 consecutive hitters.
Well, here's Whitson. He had a base hit in that 4th inning. He'd be 2 for 2 if Tabler hadn't made one of the greatest plays we've seen by a second baseman all year.
Correct. He made a great play.
Now Hernandez, after walking the 8-hitter, looks at Whitson. The bunt is on, and Hernandez will have to field it. His play has to go to first base. Tabler got over to take it. Sacrifice accomplished. 1-4 on the sack.
And let me tell you, very fine hustling by Whitson on that play made it very close. Hernandez almost took too much time in turning here and looking for the first baseman, and then he takes 2 short steps, and watch how close this play is. Very close. But the call goes to the Cubs.
Well, Woodson doesn't run that badly, and that's another instance of what makes that play on him by Tabler in the second even more impressive, because he had him by a stride and a half.
True.
All right, here's Joe Morgan. He is struck out, flied to center, and walked. He's 0 for 6 in this series. He's a tough guy to have up in this spot, though, with a runner in scoring position.
Right. The veteran knows what he can do during the year and likes to be in spots like this.
Bounced it foul to Jody. Lou, give me your impression of this, and it's just what I've seen of Tabler since he's been here, and who can judge him in 3 days? Nobody can totally judge a player in that time. But I've got a feeling he might be one of those guys who'll play better in the big leagues and be more impressive than he would when you'd see him in the minors. The different diamonds, different conditions.
Yes, and he's reached his goal now. He's up here, and he's got an opportunity to stay up here. The same goes with a lot of individuals.
Boy, he had good location with that heater.
The one I have in mind now is Jay Howell. I saw him in Iowa. And his Iowa record, you wouldn't think twice of bringing him up. But yet he's done the job up here. He seems to have more confidence in himself, and his handling by Jody Davis has been super.
No balls, 2 strikes on Morgan. Smith at second represents a tiebreaker. We are 3-3. 1-2.
Now, here's something that Joe has changed. Normally, when we've seen Morgan bat, he will flip that elbow, the back elbow, several times. But he's only done it once. There, now he's done it twice there with a hesitation.
He doesn't do it with the rapidity that he used to.
That's right. So this means that he's afraid that he's lost a little bit in the snap of his swing and that he's not going to take that much time.
Atlanta beat Montreal 2-1. Rogers, the loser. Mailer was the winner. Camp got his 13th save. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 down. Now Tabler's got to make a good play here. That didn't give him any bounce. He stayed right down with it, Lou.
And he gets rid of the ball quickly. He has soft hands, which is what I like at second base or any infielder. He doesn't fight the ball. This ball is hit to his right. He moves quickly to the right. Watch him relax and take that ball into his glove, bring it up, and fire to first.
Good quick release. All right. No runs, no hits, no errors, a walk. They leave one. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Now it's the Cubs' turn to try to go on top.
United Airlines announces a dramatic new low fare to the wonders of Hawaii.
Kauai, Kahalu, Lahaina, Koku, Kilauea, Kalalau, Kona, Paleha, Inana, Bilibili, Makapu, Napopo, Hanamapele.
Now United to Hawaii is as low as $520 plus tax round trip to the islands. A savings of over $400 to the vacation of a lifetime.
Your Chevy dealer summer sales spectacular.
Being a mother of 6, I need to put my dollars wisely, and I know that I saved $2,000. I saved $500 to $600 over Ford and Buick.
I looked at Pontiac and I looked at the Oldsmobile, and I was on my way to look at the Buick, but I never made it.
See your Chicagoland Chevy dealer.
Buckner 0 for 2. He's bounced to second and flied to right. He's got an 8-game hitting streak coming into this action. We need to get Billy Buck back over that 300 mark, good kid.
True. When he gets up to that 300, you'll see him move up close to being the leader in that batting average department.
So we need to jump right back on Whitson here. Don't let him get a chance to recover. He had a very rocky 5th inning. No strikes. Eddie Whitson's gone all the way against 3 Cub pitchers. Martz, who struggled, Howell, who was effective, and Hernandez. There's a line drive hit into right field. Buckner with a 9-game hitting streak. Hit that one right on the...
Stayed right with it.
Oh, brother.
Stayed right with it beautifully, went into that ball, and lined it into right field.
Cubs have now out-hit the Giants 6-4. With Jack Brickhouse and Lou Boudreau, Milo Hamilton with Cubs baseball from Wrigley Field. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing on a Sunday afternoon, hope you're enjoying it as we bring it to you. And if you're Cub fans, as we know so many of you are, pulling for the Cubs to get a game out of this series. Brining is throwing in the Giant bullpen. He has appeared in each of the first 2 games and warming up now. Second time he's warmed up today.
Right here's the big man for the Cubs, Milo. Durham, who can pull that ball. Buckner is on first. If he can pull a ground ball into right field, we'll have an inning underway.
Pulled a string on him that time.
Durham was not only trying to pull a ball into right field, he wanted to hit it on Sheffield Avenue.
Yeah, he really had a rip.
Yep.
He's had 2 hits today. He's 3 for 10 in this series with 1 run batted in. And with that big swing, I think he's trying to regroup.
He's raised his batting average up too today with 2 for 2 up to 319.
Very very good. He's the leading hitter on the club. Oh, you are fast with that pencil, good kid.
Well, I'm always fast with a pencil. It's paying off that I'm not too fast.
A ball and a strike. Another let up, and he sends a high fly ball to left. Herndon is there. Now Buckner, as deep as that ball was hit, made him put the ball in the air.
He had notions, and if the left fielder, Herndon, would have just lobbed that ball in, I think Buckner would have tried to get to second base.
Bobby Bonds, 1 for 2 today, a double in the 5th inning. His double set up an inning in that 5th when the Cubs got 3 to tie it. We're still 3-3 with the Cubs batting in the 6th. Hit him on the fist, popped him behind the plate. Milt May looking, now the wind blowing it back. He stays with it and makes the play. Now you see what happened. Now he stayed with it, but you see how that wind was playing tricks and what it did to Jody Davis and Reitz earlier in the game.
Yeah, that's true. And we have to give Whitson a lot of credit. He's gone to his curveball here, and he's made Durham fly out to left, and here Bonds got under one, and there's May staying right with that ball as it comes almost being in fair territory.
And he started halfway back to the screen on his initial step.
Now here's a kid that's due to hit one.
Jody Davis has bounced to first, struck out swinging. 0 for 2 today, and Jody is 2 for 7 in this series with 1 run batted in. Buckner first base, and that wasn't his good move, of course. He just let him know he's out there. Baltimore and Oakland, Flanagan and Norris. Philadelphia's putting it on the Saints, a final. Ooh, brother. Eagles 36, Saints 7.
Tormio must have had a few meetings with us Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, Bum will have to get used to that. There are going to be some days like that. 1 ball and no strikes.
Glad to see the Bears come to life. They're coming to life at the right time.
Evans had a good game. 2 balls, no strikes. Boy, Whitson was sailing for 4 innings. He faced the minimum, thanks to a caught stealing after a leadoff single in the 2nd to Durham. Then in the 5th inning, 8 Cubs batted and 3 of them scored. Ball 3.
He's been throwing a lot of pitches now. The Cubs sent 8 men to the plate in the 5th inning to tie up this ball game. So he might be tiring a little bit.
This big, strong kid in the batter's box. Oh, I got to give him his head here. Just let him rip it if he wants to. It wasn't in a zone he liked. It's ball 4. And Frank Robinson is on his way. That is only the 2nd pass given up by Eddie Whitson to go with 5 strikeouts. Robinson has already pointed to his bullpen. That's going to be all for Whitson. And we're going to get a look at Fred Brining again, 3rd time in 3 days.
Well, Robinson seeing the same thing that I did, that he was tiring. He was falling off to the first base side of the mound after his delivery, and consequently, he lost his control and lost his good fastball. So now, Brining, tall right-hander, coming in to pitch for the Giants with 2 outs. Cubs runners on 1st and 2nd, and he's going to face Reitz. Brining's record, he's won 3 and lost 2. He has an earned run average of 2.1. This is his 30th game. He started 1 game for the Giants, but 29 games have been in relief. He's pitched 47 innings, allowed 37 hits, 15 runs, 11 of them earned. He's walked 26 while striking out 21. He's only allowed 1 home run to be hit off of his servings. He's faced the Cubs 3 times. He's allowed 3 runs in 6 and 2/3 innings. Let me correct that. He hasn't allowed a run. He hasn't allowed a run. He's walked 1 and struck out 2. Now, that's in 6 and 2/3 innings, and only 4 hits he has given up. So he's been doing quite a job against the Cubs.
And in the Friday game, he beat us.
Yes, got the victory.
So we're seeing two of the pitchers here today that were in the Madlock deal. Whitson and Brining, and we've seen Holland also. That's 1/3 of your pitching staff in one deal.
That's right.
So Kenny Reitz got credit for an RBI on a bounce out in the 5th inning. He's 0 for 2 officially. Look out, low bridge. 1 ball, no strikes. Woodson worked 5 2/3. The runner's on, of course, his responsibility. Buckner second, Davis first. Breaking pitch, started it way inside and caught the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oh, they're having some fireworks at St. Louis. 3, 4, 7 for the Dodgers. 2, 4, 8 for the Cardinals. They've played 6.5. Lined into left center, base hit. Buckner will come home. The Cubs are going in front for the first time today. Jody Davis into 3rd. A big clutch hit from Reitz. And the Cubs are on top 4-3.
And boy, we need his bat. If we're going to win this division, this second half of the season, we have to have Reitz's bat. And it looks as if he might be coming out of that slump. Here's a line drive. The pitch was up, but he followed it and lined it right over the shortstop's head into left center. And Buckner started with a crack of the bat with 2 outs, so he scores easily. There's no play on Buckner. And Jody Davis winds up at 3rd base.
So Billy Buckner plants that spike shoe on the plate to give us our 4th run, and here's DeJesus. He had a base hit the last time up and drove in a run. Later scored another run. Lined into left field, a base hit. Another run is in the person of Jody Davis. Reitz will go into second. DeJesus finding out how to turn those boo birds into cheerbirds.
Yes, indeed. Swinging the bat, making contact, so he's out of his slump now. Here was another curveball that was up about the bell high, and DeJesus just stayed back on that ball beautifully and lined it into left field. Cubs now with a 5-3 lead, and Hernandez was going to bat, but I think Joey wants to put in a pinch hitter to get some more runs.
Yep, Mike Lum. And Dillard is going to run for Reitz. Well, Joey's trying to strike while the iron's hot here, good kid. And
can't blame him. We haven't seen many runs cross that plate in the last 2 weeks.
And especially in the last 2 days, where just a fly ball or a base hit in just 1 or 2 spots, and instead of scratching for a game here today, you'd be going for a sweep.
Absolutely. That's what it takes, but you have to keep battling, and that's exactly what the Cubs are doing. Getting men on base, eventually they'll score. They have today.
They're buying a little time right now. They're letting Holland get hot in their bullpen.
That's the left-hander, and he's quickly heating up.
Jones homered for Detroit, his second in the 9th. That would tie that game. There was nobody on. Simmons got his 11th home run for the Brewers. So that'll do wonders for Willie Hernandez's mental outlook, too. He came in and did a job. He held him in a tie game. In fact, those runs belong to Willie Hernandez.
Right. Morgan, the veteran, doing his job, taking a lot of time on the mound. Wouldn't surprise me to see Frank come out of the dugout right now, and here he comes. That's what they were doing, and Morgan did his job, and Frank's going to just take his time.
Yeah, he's going to let him throw 3 or 4 more pitches.
Yeah, he's going to take his time to get to the mound. Prior to this, when he made the change to Brining, he gave the sign immediately before he reached the foul line. But right now, he's not giving any signs. He wants Holland to get heated up quickly.
I'll tell you, that's the first time we've hit Brining with any authority at all, and both of those were really hit on the nose.
Yes, they were. And he was up high. Now Wyer's going to ask Robinson if he wants to make a change. And he does. He said yes, and so they're going to call in Holland to pitch to Lum. Now, Joey, of course, can go to another pinch hitter here. He has Morales, he has Cruz, and he has Blackwell on the bench. We haven't seen much of Holland. Left-handed pitcher, good fastball pitcher. He's 3-4 on the record. 3 victories, 4 defeats. Good run average of 2.8. This is his 30th game. He's pitched 53 and 2/3 innings. He has 4 saves to his credit. He's allowed 50 hits, 20 runs, 17 of them have been earned. And there goes Robinson to his dugout, and Joey Amalfitano walking down to the end of his dugout to see if he picks out somebody to hit for Lum.
He was also talking to Tidrow, who wasn't in the bullpen. I saw him. He might have been saying, "Can you pitch for me today?"
Yes.
And Dick took off his jacket. We may see him head to the pen.
Well, you look for Tidrow in the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th innings.
Holland pitched in 2 of the games when we swept him here earlier this year. First time 3 up, 3 down. The next time, Jody Davis took him to Waveland Avenue for his first big league homer.
Yeah.
But he had good stuff that day.
He struck out 5 that day and walked 2. He allowed 1 hit, and that was the home run off of Davis's bat. Right now, Lum is still the Cubs pinch hitter.
Al Holland was one of those young prospects in the Pirate chain. They always knew he had a great arm, but he had to come up with a breaking ball, and he did. So we're looking at Whitson, Brining, and Holland for the Giants here today. And, of course, we'll be needing a new pitcher when we go to the 7th. But right now, we've broken the tie and are leading.
Looks like Caudle Milo will be our new pitcher. Now we see Tidrow walking to the bullpen just in case he's needed.
All right, Mike Lum, the batter, 2 men on. The pinch runner Dillard running for Reitz at second. DeJesus with his 2nd straight hit and his 2nd straight RBI at first base. So Lum against Holland. 2 out, 2 runs are in. The Cubs are leading 5-3. Their first lead of the day. They trailed at one time 3-0. One ball, no strikes. Two runners on for the pinch hitter Lum. The 1-0 from Al Holland. Oh, that didn't miss by much. He really throws a heavy fastball, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. But now you have to keep in mind, and Lum will too, that he will not be as quick as normal because he did not have time to complete his warm-up.
Yeah, they really rushed him into this game.
Yes, they did. Now's the time to jump on him.
Because the way Brining's been working, they just didn't expect that kind of a turnout. There's a high bouncer. Cabell over, and he... Oh, brother, was that close.
He made the right play and got the call. Cabell has to move quickly to his right on this high bounder. He's moving very quickly towards second base, catches the ball, tosses it to the shortstop Smith. DeJesus slides, but he's just a stride late. Fine play by Cabell.
On a very, very, very close call at second base. So we get 2 runs to break the tie on 3 hits, no errors, 2 are left. We played through 6, and the Cubs are on top, 5-3.
You know, baseball's the same in Japan as it is in America. You play 9 innings. 3 strikes and you're out. And after the game, there's nothing like a beer. And when Numa's in town, I treat him to light beer from Miller because it tastes great. Yeah, I know it's less filling, but we drink it because it tastes great. Listen, Numa, it tastes great. All right, it's less filling.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And
Cutting down.
It's a solid gold hour of country classics with Dionne Warwick and a grassroots lineup of country superstars. Larry Gatlin and the Gatlin brothers singing All the Gold in California. Mickey Gillies, The Girls All Get Prettier at Closing Time. Johnny Lee's Looking for Love. Charlie Rich Behind Closed Doors. Plus, Roger Miller, Anne Murray, Jim Stafford, Glenn Campbell and Tanya Tucker singing Dream Lover. And Johnny Paycheck's Take This Job and Shove It. Take this hour and love it. It's Solid Gold.
Solid Gold, tonight at 11 here on Channel 9.
New third baseman Steve Dillard. Remember, he went in to run for Reitz and stays in the game. And the new pitcher, right-hander Bill Caudle. Came on the other day and pitched an impressive inning. You know he's capable of doing that more often, but it hasn't been often enough. So Willie Hernandez gave us an inning when we needed one, kept them right where they were at a tie, and those runs belong to Willie at the moment, and Cabell will be leading it off in the 7th inning.
Careful what you say, Milo. We've got ourselves a CBS spy in the booth. Norm Potash, our former assistant sports editor, who's now over working for the Johnny Morrises and the Bruce Roberts of this world, is in the booth.
Well, we'll be glad to show him all we can here today. He's sitting in the right chair. Rosie's out for a little hot dog, so he took over. Bill Caudle making his 22nd appearance, 10 of those as a starter. 1 win, 5 losses, a high ERA of 5.37. Cabell is 1 for 3. There's a fly ball out into right center. Bobby Bonds comes across, and he reaches up and grabs it. That'll bring up Clark. Bonds covered some real estate with that one. Clark today has walked twice, flied to right. Fine catch was made on him in the 4th inning.
That's a go-get-em outfield right now. Henderson, Bonds, and Durham. They cover the territory.
Caudle has faced the Giants only once this year. It was on Friday. 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 walk, no strikeouts, an effective inning. He's 0-1 against the Giants lifetime. He's looking at Jack Clark. Spun him around. Tidrow is throwing in the bullpen. Giant bullpen is quiet at the moment. Caudle's our 4th pitcher following March, Howell, and Hernandez. Good pitch. He backed him off a place with a high breaking pitch, and then came back with a good one at the knees and got the call, and the count is even at 1-1. Hopped it off to the right side. Jody Davis over. Buckner there too, and Jody will make the play. Boy, high pop-ups around the plate today have been an adventure. That wind is whipping that ball, and Jody stayed right with it that time, and it's 2 down. Here is Darrell Evans. A walk, a pop-up, and in the 5th inning, he sent Durham right up into the ivy in the right field well. Nobody on, 2 down. Cubs are in front 5-3. Trying to get on that win side in this series, set the stage for the invasion of the Padres tomorrow, who got whipped today by the Pirates 5-2. Ball 1 from Caudle. Inning number 7.
Old Hondo will be in a mean mood when he gets here tomorrow, won't he?
I just want to talk to him before anything happens.
Talking about Frank Howard, of course, the 6'7" manager of the Padres.
There's a drive to right. Durham back, and it will be gone up on the catwalk. Evans has flirted with a home run on 3 occasions in this series. This time he was not to be denied. That gives him 11, and it also gives him the Giant club leadership. That tightens it up to a 1-run game as Evans steps on the plate. Boy, did he belt it. 1 hit off Caudle, and it's for 4 bases, and Tidrow starts to limber up that arm in earnest now. Let's see where it was. Right out over the plate. Threw him a Sunday pitch on the right day, but at the wrong time. Breaking pitch into Herndon. Now it's a 5-4 game. Cubs still in front, but just by the 1 run now. Fouled off. He's got Herndon down in the count 0-2. Herndon tripled in the 4th inning. Gave him a 5-game hitting streak. Evans had been limited to 1 hit and 10 at-bats before he teed off on that one and put it on the right field catwalk. And Caudle served up his 6th gopher ball in 62 innings. That's too many, especially when you're coming in out of that bullpen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He got Cabell and Clark on a fly ball to center and a pop-up, but then Evans unloaded. High fly ball. Right field. Durham's in the track. Lets Tabler know that he can come on and get it. Side retired. But not before the Giants had picked up a run on a home run by Evans. 1 run, 1 hit. No errors, nobody left. And so it's time to get everybody up. 7th inning stretch time. You there at home and here at the park as well. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th, leading by 1.
Hey, Chicagoland, look what Union 76 has for you. RC or Diet Right Cola in 2-liter bottles free or at big savings when you stop for gasoline or service. And right now, you can win a trip to Hawaii at Union 76, too. An exciting week for 2, including airfare, hotel, rental car, expense money. Details and entry blanks available at your participating Union 76 dealer. So stop in soon and
Go with the spirit.
you'll stay at the Hyatt Regency Waikiki.
The spirit of 76.
Hi, Pat Summerall. Get book 2 of my 64-page full-color Sports Stars collection free with any $10 purchase at participating True Value hardware stores.
And right now, you could celebrate end-of-summer savings with their pre-Labor Day Carnival of Value circular, where you'll find Duro Super Glue 3 for just 88 cents a tube, and this True Test Latex caulk for just $1.18. This long-wearing Orel paintbrush is just $3.99, and get 4 Value Bright light bulbs for just $1.19 at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Well, there's Jack Minovich from our staff, taking a little day off, watching a ball game. Usually he's producing it on the radio side. Now that's not Jack.
No, that's he's sleeping enough so he could be a producer.
Well, those of you who sent friends and relatives to the game, can you spot them? The Cubs, who trailed at one time 3-0, went in front by 2 and find themselves in a 1-run game now, will send up the top of the order against Al Holland. Bottom of the 7th inning, Henderson had a base hit in the 5th and drove in the tying run. It tied it at 3. Cubs went on to get 2 more in the 6th. Right down the middle. Came on in the 6th inning. He's worked 1/3 of an inning. Breaking pitch, bouncer third. Evans charges. On to first, gets Henderson, and it's 1 away in the Chicago 7th. That'll bring up Tabler. He's hitless today and is now 2 for 10 in the series. He got a hit Friday and a hit yesterday. Needs a hit here to keep from wearing a collar against the Giants in this particular game. Giants did it and did it, or rather the Tigers did it the hard way, didn't they?
Yeah, 2 in the bottom of the 9th to win it 5-4.
Foul back by the rookie second baseman.
Well, they got a pitching change. Suter's now pitching for the Cardinals in the 8th inning. Dodgers came up with a 3-run 7th.
But the Cardinals got 2 of those back.
Yeah. So it's 10-7 St. Louis in the 8th inning.
A ball and a strike to Tabler. Nobody on base in front of him, one away. 7th inning at Wrigley Field.
California 2, Cleveland nothing at the end of 2.
1-1 from Holland. Lined in the right field, a base hit. Gives him a 3-game hitting streak since he's come up. Hit number 1 off Holland and hit number 9 for the Cubs for the afternoon. They have out-hit him 9-5.
The Mets in Cincinnati have gone into extra innings. They were tied 2-2 at the end of 9. Hume is now pitching for Cincinnati in the 7th. So a superb performance by Seaver will not wind up finding Tom as the pitcher of record in the ballgame. Milwaukee 7, Minnesota 2 at the end of 6.
Here is Bill Buckner, 1 for 3. His hit in the 6th gave him a 9-game hitting streak. Ball 1.
The Sting has taken a 1-0 lead at halftime over Seattle down at Comiskey Park in their soccer playoff game.
Their second game, by the way, will be Wednesday night, and it'll be the 3rd telecast of the day on Channel 9, our flag station. Quick throw over. As you know, we'll be playing the Padres in the afternoon. The Sox will be at Milwaukee at night, and right after the Sox game, the second game in the soccer playoff from the Kingdome. If you've got it on 9 that day in Chicago, sports will be your bill of fare. 1 ball, no strikes. High fly ball, right field. Clark started back, but then comes in. 2 away.
At the end of 8, Yankees 8, Kansas City nothing, and the Goose is now pitching for New York in the 9th, Gossage.
Leon Durham, 2 for 3. He's had 3 for 11 in the series. His single in the 5th started a 3-run inning. At the moment, the Cubs are in front 5-4. They trail by as many as 3, led by as many as 2. At the moment, it's a 1-run game. Cubs over the Giants. Nice, slow, easy breaking pitch. Strike call.
Baltimore failed in the 1st. Oakland's now coming to bat. Minnesota got a run in the 7th inning. Milwaukee at bat leading 7-3 now in the Milwaukee 7th.
0-1. That's right at Evans. He'll go to second. Force play. 5-4. Evans to Morgan. Side retired. No runs, 1 hit. Single by Tabler. No errors, 1 man left. We played through 7. Tough and tight. Cubs 5, Giants 4.
I can tell a real cowboy from the drugstore kind, clean across Texas. The way he wears his hat will tell you. And the beer that you drink's a surefire giveaway, too. A lot of us drink light beer from Miller. We love the taste, but we surely appreciate that it's got a third less calories than the regular kind. You see, you don't want to be filled up when you're out there punching doggies. Ain't that right, cowboy? I didn't punch that doggie.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Your Toyota dealer's picking up a great deal for you. Oh, man, get it. He's got sales incentives from Toyota to sell a whole herd of trucks this month, so you can pick up a deal on America's best-selling small trucks. Toyota's prices may never be lower, but act fast to get America's best import selection of long beds, short beds, 4x4s, even diesels. Pick up your heels and hook up a deal on Toyota.
What a feeling to deal. Toyota.
And that's no bum steer.
Getting ready to go to the 8th inning. And Bill Connell, who worked the 7th and gave up a gopher ball to Evans, is still on to work the 8th against Leonard, May, and Smith.
Well, a one-run lead has been enough in this series up till now, but you have to wonder the way the pattern of this one is developing, whether it'll do the job. There's the Cub photographer, Barney Sterling. Movies have become a very, very important part of baseball now in recent years. Of course, before that, for several years, movies, especially scouting films and training films, have been important in pro football. But pro baseball has taken it on quite a bit, and that's why the Barney Sterlings play an important role in developing a ball club. Sometimes a coach can take a player into the dark room and play a film of his batting style or his pitching style or even his fielding style and point out the little flaws that can't do it any other way. There's a very deep fly way back to left center. Look out for this one. It is in the basket, a home run for Jeff Leonard. We have a brand new ball game, and they're playing long ball with Phil Caudle now. 2 of the last 3 men he has faced have hit home runs. Evans with 2 out in the 7th, and now Leonard leading off the 8th. And that gives Jeff his 2nd home run of the year, and we have a 5-5 game. Ouch. There it is. It made it to the basket. Oh, boy. Okay, let's start the whole game over. Milt May, the catcher, is up. The Yankees final 8-0 over Kansas City, so I guess Guidry got himself a win, Milo.
Did he ever? Davis and Gottschalk relieved him, but still nobody scored. And Joey Amalfitano is going to go to Capilla. In that Detroit victory, it was 5-9-3 Detroit, 4-8-0 Texas. They have won 9 straight, have the Tigers. So Capilla is on. Phil Caudle.
Milo, we have some very important groups out here today. The East Suburban Little League from New Haven, Indiana. The First St. Paul Lutheran Church from Chicago. The Shabbat's Lions Club. The Gales Social Club from Galesburg. The Ottawa American Little League, Ottawa, Illinois. Pilot Club from Kewanee has a group. And some of the notes up to the booth. We have one party of 4 generations today. That's worth a mention. George and Ethel Phillips' wedding anniversary. They have 4 children, 11 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren out here. And let's see here. We have a group from Rockdale, Illinois. As they call themselves, the #1 little town of America. From a 14-year-old youngster who says, I know all about baseball, and would you let me come up and do 1 or 2 innings of commentary? Well, we have done it before, but it's been done on a kind of a contest basis or something like that, and maybe one of these days we'll do it again sometime.
Capilla making his 33rd appearance. That's the most on the staff. No wins, no losses, ERA 3.18.
Here's Milt May. Nobody on, nobody out. 5-5 game. We're in the San Francisco 8th. Ball 1. Little outside. Henderson, Bonds, Durham, and left, center, and right now for the Cubs. Dillard, DeJesus, Tabler, Buckner, the Cub infield third to first, Battery, Capilla, and Jody Davis. That's That's outside. Capilla having trouble finding that plate. Doug Capillo throws a screwball to right-handers. Got that one in there. Ball 3, strike 1. Strike 2, it's a full count. You know, Capilla actually, Milo, is the kind of a ball player you'd like to see given the physique of some of the other big stars, because I have a feeling with his heart, he'd do a lot with it.
Yeah, he's a low bulldog.
Ground ball. Jesus gobbles it up. Here's that throw, and that's out number 1. Brings up shortstop Billy Smith.
Radio TV here today's attendance figures. Machine 14,737. 14737. Total in the house 15,237. 15237.
Billy Smith up. Get that attendance figure, Milo.
15,237 total, of which 14,737 paid.
Ball 1. Pop up, off back of first base. Boom. Base hit. One of those spinning pop-ups just out of reach of Tabler and Buckner. So Smith is on with a hit. That brings up home.
Well, they're
going back to the bench.
Because they've had Lavelle throwing for quite a while.
Wolford,
yes.
Who came up with the big hit day before yesterday.
Number 1, Jim Wolford, batting for the pitcher.
There's Robinson talking to his pitcher, Holland.
Number 1, Jim Wolford.
Wonder what they're talking about.
Al might not want to come out of the game. I don't know.
Well, Wolford has been known to do some pretty timely hitting. 220 hitter with 9 hits this year, a couple of doubles, 1 home run. And he will probably look at a screwball. Ball 1. Let's pause for station identification.
This is WGN Television, Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
Throw to first. Just about a minute past 4, Central Daylight Savings Time. I'm Jack Brickhouse, along with Milo Hamilton, as we watch the Cubs and the Giants battle away as they have so many times down through the years. And this is a kind of a typical Cub-Giant fight. Issue still in doubt. Guys fighting back from deficits, then losing leads. Up and down, a real Donnybrook. And it's a long way from over. Ball 1.
It's going to settle into the bullpens now. Whoever's got the bullpen that can do it.
Very high foul ball. Out of play. Ball 1, strike 1.
Pitching right on Holland, 1 in the 3rd inning, 1 hit.
Tony Armas of Oakland hit his 17th home run today.
Well, he got one yesterday that won the ball game. Gave Rich Langford a 2-0 lead, and that's all he needed.
He hit it with a man on today to give Oakland a 2-0 lead at the end of an inning over the Orioles.
Get a winning formula and stay with it, huh? Ball one, strike one. And, of course, the Cubs watching Billy Smith at first base like a hawk. One out. Cubs have out-hit the Giants 9-7. Outside. Ball two, strike one. They were just daring him to go on that one. First baseman Buckner. Ball two, strike one. Misses again. Ball three, strike one. Joey Amalfitano. Study and concentration.
Do you see any smoke coming up out of that cap?
3-1. You could light a cigarette on the back of his neck right now. There's a ground ball. Let's get to DeJesus, to Tadler, to Buckner, and they've got their double play. Number 69 of the year. The Cubs are out of the inning. All right. Very good. The old 643 special. Smith forced. Wolford doubled up. One run, a leadoff home run by Leonard. 2 hits, no errors, nobody left. We're going out to the bottom of the 8th. Let's take the lead here. Score 5-5.
When the human and I started in data processing, his functions were simple. Maintain my circuitry, obtain Yellow Pages ad. That ad and I worked night and day, even while the human slept. Soon we were plugged into bookkeeping, business machines. He works today, all systems are go. Get in the yellow. I said the yellow.
Our program for success. Our Yellow Pages, it's where you should be.
When I shoot a great champion like Ben Crenshaw, history can happen at any time. And that's why I stay ready all the time with my Canon AE1. The zoom in puts me right where the action is. So if Ben gets that one miracle shot, I get it too. Ben, you try the zoom. Sure. Even with the zoom, the Canon AE1 is as easy as focus and click.
The incomparable Canon AE1, so advanced, it's simple.
Canon, the official camera of the Chicago Cubs.
Join all the Cubs at the Cubs Care Benefit Dinner scheduled at the Radisson September 13th. It's a fun night, and proceeds go to cancer programs at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. Each player hosts a table. That's Cubs Care Benefit September 13th. Call the hospital or the Cubs for all details. This message furnished by the Chicago Cubs. Pitcher is Lavelle. No wins and 3 losses. What would you have bet on that for him? 3.55 ERA, 21 appearances, 4 saves.
Not exactly imposing figures, and yet
he's considered one of the best.
I'd like to see him in the Cub roster.
That's not tampering, is it? No.
No. Please. And I'm not quoting anybody in the Cubs organization as saying that either. Strike one. That's a strike. 0-2. Well, the Cardinals manhandle Los Angeles 11-7, one of those good old-fashioned Pier 6 brawls, and there is strike 3 to Bobby Bonds. That brings up the catcher, Jody Davis. Cardinals 11, the Dodgers 7. Cleveland got 3 in the third, so they lead California 3-2. California now at bat in the third inning. Well, the Mets put one over in the 10th inning and won that ball game from Cincinnati. They squeaked by 3-2. Allen the winner, Hume the loser. Strike 1 now to Jody. Strike 0-2. Tie game 5-5. Got him. 2 batters, 2 strikeouts facing Lavelle in the 8th. That brings up Mr. Dillard batting for the first time. Steve got in as a pinch runner for Kenny Reitz in the 6th inning, stayed on to play. Strike 1. And 2 now on the foul. Whoa, ball 1, strike 2. Foul ball again. Still strike 2. Steve Dillard. That one stung a little. 226 hitter. Altogether he has 24 base hits, 7 doubles, a triple, and 1 home run. Foul ball. That is a backhand grab by Smith. Out at first on a very, very fine play by Billy Smith. Had to go deep in the hole and then make a throw. A deep throw with something on it. This is not an easy play. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. And so at the end of 8, score of the ball game. San Francisco 5, the Chicago Cubs 5.
On you, hay burner! You want to burn less fuel? Cook up a deal on America's best-selling small trucks. Your Toyota dealer has incentives from Toyota to cook up deals on a whole herd of trucks. Get yours while they last, because Toyota's prices may never be lower. And this is Toyota's lowest price, best gas mileage truck.
You plan to retire.
Can't believe the great deal.
Oh, what a feeling to feel. Toyota. Seeing is believing.
A little Old Spice has a lot of rewards. Old Spice is the clean, fresh, masculine scent so many women love. So even if you love only one woman, you'll love Old Spice, the man's scent so many women love.
So we go to the 9th inning, of course. We're at the place now where anybody can get a run, can look awfully, awfully big.
And the Giants will have the top of their order. Morgan, Cabell, and Clark against Capilla.
Then in the Cub 9th, I notice here, it's going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. So we'll see some pinch hitting for the Cubs, I'm sure. All right,
Get ready to go is Morgan, who is 0 for 3 today and is 0 for 7 in this series. He's been on base once today. Fourth inning, got a base on balls from Randy Martz. Martz started. Howell and Hernandez were effective out of the bullpen. Caudle was not. Capilla so far has been, thanks to a double play ball in the 8th. And we need the little lefty to have a tough 9th here. And starts it off, but Morgan calls time before Capilla can throw a pitch. Tidrow is already throwing in the Cub bullpen. High foul out of play as Jody took a look, but that was well back. Up on the screen in the middle of it, and it's strike 1. Last year, Bill Caudle worked 128 innings as a starter and a reliever and only threw 10 home run balls. That's one about every 13 innings. This year, in 62 innings, he's already thrown 7. And 2 of them today hurt because it enabled the Giants to get back in the game. One ball and 2 strikes. Foul down the right side. Almost jumps into their dugout, and it's still 1-2. He used to call him the toy cannon when he played at Houston. Although it was when he went to Cincinnati that he really turned himself around. He became a much more complete ball player. And a lot of people, there's a liner, look out down the right side. A lot of people will tell you that he's one of the big reasons Cincinnati had all those great years in the 70s. I think I'm in the right city, but the wrong batter. I think Jimmy Wynn was the toy cannon.
Yes, but I'll tell you, there's a tremendous resemblance between the two, and if Morgan had come along first, the chances are he would have gotten the nickname because he is a toy cannon type.
Got power for a little
power.
body.
Absolutely. Renicky, speaking of power, just homered for Baltimore in the second with 1 on. That's his first of the year, and it ties Oakland at 2-2 with Oakland now at bat in the second.
Morgan's career is taking him through Houston, Cincinnati, Houston again, and now the Giants. He's back in his home area, playing in the Bay Area. Boy, some great athletes have come out of that Bay Area.
Oh, they have. It was interesting, too, Milo, that he won the MVP one year. The next year was the best press agent that his teammate George Foster had in touting Foster for it, and then wound up winning it again himself anyway.
1-2. He struck him out with a good breaking ball going down and away. They had a pretty good lock on it over there for a while with Bench and Morgan and Rose and Foster. First strikeout for Capilla. That is only the 3rd strikeout against the Giants in this game. Here is Enos Cabell. 1 hit. It was a big one. 4th inning, a 2-run single. At the time, it put them into a 3-0 lead. Since then, it was tied at 3. Then it was 5-3 Cubs. It's now tied again at 5. 1 ball and no strikes. New York shut out Kansas City 8-0. The White Sox whomped up on Toronto 13-2. Detroit got 2 in the 9th and beat Texas 5-4. And they got a big scoring game at Milwaukee also. Ball. Right now it's Milwaukee 7-5 for the Twins. St. Louis outlasted the Dodgers 11-7. There's something in the air today, Jack, with all those runs scoring. Pittsburgh beat the Padres 5-2. New York got a run in the 10th and edged Cincinnati 3-2. A great effort by Seaver wasted for the Reds today. Atlanta beat Montreal 2-1. Fouled up the screen. Cabell batting with nobody on and 1 away. Jack Clark due up next.
Suter got his 15th save in that ball game. Welch the loser, Shirley the winner.
2-1 from Capilla. Backed him off the plate, 3-1.
The Cub problem today has been 9 hits and only 8 of them singles and 1 double. Meantime, the other fellows have come up with a couple of homers and a triple.
Cabell making Capilla wait a while.
The Cubs have been using the left jab, and the Giants have been using the uppercut.
Took a strike, and it's a full count. Cabell has already started toward first base. But Lee Wire, and in this case the only one who really counts, says So let's see how they both handle the payoff here. Had 9 pitchers in the game, 5 for the Cubs, 4 for the Giants. Capilla ready, and a 3-2 to Enos Cabell. High bouncer right back. The little guy will take it and throw him out. A high bouncer right to the top of the mound. So Cabell is out, and it'll bring up Clark. Jack Clark today has gotten on twice, but each time with a walk. In the 4th inning, flied to right. 7th inning, popped up to Jody Davis in foul territory. So he is now 4 for 9 in the series. 2 of those 4 out of the park and 3 RBIs. 1 ball and no strikes. Evans, who homered in the 7th, is due up next. 1-0. High outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Nobody on, 2 away. Top of the order for the Giants. A dangerous 3-hitter, Jack Clark, with a 2-0 count. Don't serve anything fat to this guy. Low fastball, 3-0. In the bottom of the inning, DeJesus, 2 hits and 2 RBIs due to lead it. He's the 8th man on the lineup card posted by Joey Amalfitano today. And here's the 3-0 to Clark. Got it in to make it 3-1. Walked him. A 2-out walk to Clark. 3rd time he's walked today. First walk by Capilla. That is the 7th walk to the Giants in the game, and it'll bring up Darrell Evans, who had come so close on 3 other occasions in this series. In fact, in the 5th inning, he sent Durham almost up into the ivy out in that well, but in the 7th inning, they couldn't contain him. He hit it up on the right field catwalk. Minton now, who saved the first 2 games in this series for the Giants, is loosening in their bullpen. Tidrow continues to throw for the Cubs, and Capilla, working in the center of the diamond, sends the runner Clark back on his tummy, and there's still no count to Darrell Evans. Evans has walked, popped to 3rd, fly deep to right, and homered. Breaking pitch in for a strike. Evans, with his hit, that homer, has now hit safely in 12 out of his last 14 games.
Yount homered for Milwaukee in the 8th with nobody on. It's his 7th, and now there's a pitching change. O'Connor's now pitching for Minnesota.
The Baltimore tie didn't last long. Oakland came right back with a run and leads 3-2 after 2. Jammed him, pops him into shallow left. DeJesus out, and he makes the play. Boy, that looked like trouble for a minute, but DeJesus ran right under it. He just made a very fine play in a ticklish situation and gets Capilla out of the jam. No runs, no hits, no errors, a walk. They leave 1. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Here we are again in another 9th inning situation where you got to have something to win it. Today we're tied at 5.
There's this argument in football about who's smarter, the offense or defense.
Defense had to be smarter to react to flip-flops and flea flickers. Then we drink the best tasting beer, light beer from Miller.
We drink light, too. It's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer, and it's less filling. And we had to be smarter to react to the Red Dogs and closing.
Okay, Billy. The
flanker does it down and out the weak side linebacker blitzes. What's the nose guard do, huh? Huh? I don't know. Defense rests.
Like beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
This man has eaten more pasta, stretched more muscles, kissed more babies, and has had more people mess up his hair than was thought humanly possible.
Why me?
He's Gary Collins, and he does it all just for you. Spend an hour on yourself with Gary on Our Magazine.
I like doing this show.
He'll make every hour count for you.
Our Magazine, weekday mornings at 10 here on Channel 9.
We go to the bottom of the ninth, and Ivan DeJesus, who has picked up 2 hits in each of his last 2 appearances and picked up an RBI as well each time, is going to lead it off. Then you've got Morales, Blackwell, and Tyson available on the bench. When DeJesus got his hit in the 5th inning, he was 0 for 7 in this series. But he drove in run number 2 in the 5th and scored the tying run at 3. In the 6th inning, he singled and drove in run number 5. So here's DeJesus facing Lavelle, who in the 8th inning had a 3-up, 3-down inning, including striking out 2 right-hand batters. Showed bunt, took it for a ball.
Well, you can tell Mock is back in managing. They just had a bench-clearing altercation between the 2 teams at California. Don Baylor was the only player ejected, though.
That's a strike, and it's 1-1.
Cleveland and California.
Whitson started for the Giants. Brining in the 6th. He was no puzzle today. Holland in the 6th. Lavelle in the 8th, working in his 2nd inning. Falls behind the Cubs shortstop. 2 balls and 1 strike. Ivan DeJesus. Need to get him on. See if he can make something happen against Lavelle. 5-5 tie. The Cubs about hit him 9-7. Fouled off. That'll level it at 2-2. Hit him on the fist, popped him out into shallow right. Clark was playing over and in, and he dropped the ball. He slipped just a little bit. Now, even though he was playing DeJesus perfectly, when he came over, you could see some indecision. And his feet just didn't hold for him. Now, watch this. Looks like he's going to have it all the way here. He just couldn't get it in his glove.
I think that hazy sun may have hurt him a little, too.
Just an inch or 2 short. Talk about inches, Jack. Goes as a base hit, of course. Hit number 1 off Lavelle. Hit number 10 in the game for the Cubs. And Mike Tyson has been announced as the pinch hitter. We've used Cruz and Lum. Cruz walked. Lum hit into a force play. And now it's Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson for the year, 169 batter. Batting right-handed has been his best side, 286 compared to left-handed 137. That stat really doesn't mean anything anymore because he's batting right-handed all the time these days. Throw over to first, not close. Tyson's had 2 homers, 5 RBIs. Goes over that way again. Remember, you got a fine base runner, DeJesus, at first base. Tyson had started a couple of games in the Dodgers series, but Tabler arrived on the scene Friday, so Tyson has not played in this series. In fact, this is his first at-bat against Giant pitching in 1981. Fouled off on the bunt. May tried to dive for it, dropped too quickly for him. We got a real break that time in the fact that Lavelle came to the plate and did not go to first base because DeJesus was really leaning. So Mike Tyson now with a strike one count. DeJesus with his third straight hit in the game is at first base. And Lavelle, he'll take a good look at DeJesus this time, I'm sure. Yep, he went over that way because the last time, boy, I tell you, they'd have had him picked clean. Boy, you got to stay loose here. Goes over that way again. And a Sunday crowd at Wrigley Field of over 15,000 hooting and hollering here. They want to see the Cubs pull one out. They trail by 3. They led by 2. At the moment, they're tied at 5 in the bottom of the 9th. Trying to pick and claw their way through a victory here and salvage it. Nope. He was leaning again. There's the bunt. Lavelle out. He looked, has no play at second, throws to Morgan. They get Tyson, but the sacrifice accomplished. Score it 1-4. So Tyson does his job. He moves that potential winning run up into scoring position. Henderson will be the batter. Henderson is 1 for 4. He had an RBI single in the 5th inning. At that time, it tied the game at 3. So after a pop fly single down the right side by DeJesus, Tyson was called upon to bat. Came up with a sacrifice. And now here is Henderson. That one hit with the run bat, they're going to put him on. He won't get a swing here. They're putting him on with Tabler on deck. This will be the first walk given up by Lavelle. It'll only be the 3rd Cub to walk in the game and the first of those 3 to be intentional. One more will do it. You know, you've heard us talk from time to time of Ellis Clary, the veteran Minnesota Twin Scout. He's out here again today. He has been all week. All you got to do is look at the grocery bill down in the Pink Poodle, and you know Ellis is here. It's ball 4. Ellis suffered a heart attack about 11 years ago during a scouting trip to Mobile, Alabama. And his fellow scouts, who like to get on him a little bit because he's a great storyteller, chide him about it because en route to the hospital that day, Ellis Clary supposedly told the driver to keep track of the mileage because he'll want to turn it in on his expense account. That was one where he went to see his grandson play, and another scout went with him, and the grandson struck out, and the other scout said it was hereditary. All right, here's Tabler. 2 on, 1 out. Took a sharp breaking pitch at the hands for a called strike. Tabler had a base hit in the 7th inning, lined one into right field. He's had 3 hits in the series in 11 at-bats. None could be bigger than one right here. There's the guy you need to get home, DeJesus, who got his stroke down today with 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Henderson's at first. 1 out. Tabler waiting on Lavelle. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, here you've got the matching of a fine veteran left-hand reliever against a rookie right-hand batting second baseman. Lavelle against Tabler. Boy, if he'd get a hit here, they'd be jumping up and down in Sarasota, where his folks are watching. 1-1. Fly ball, right center. Leonard back. Leonard there. DeJesus will tag. He'll come over to third. So the winning run is 90 feet away, but it'll take something big now because there are 2 away. And Bill Buckner with runners on the corners and 2 down as Joey Amalfitano steps up to get a better look. May, Evans, and Morgan are having a little powwow with Lavelle, and as they do that, Frank Robinson is on his way. It is not to make any kind of a change here. There wouldn't be any thought of it because you've got the left-hander in the game you want, meaning the Giants, and left-hand batting Bill Buckner is due up. So there's Joey watching that conference go on out there. He might be giving him a choice as to whether he wants to look at Buckner or Durham. Durham is on deck. With a minute to go at Comiskey Park, the Sting is winning 3-2. But boy, the way some of those Sting games have been lately, that minute could seem long. All right, they're going to pitch to Buckner. DeJesus, 90 feet away. It's up to Buckner to get him home. 1 ball, no strikes. Milt May keeps looking for a sign. He thinks maybe they might try to do something cute here. You got a speed merchant at third. Henderson's at first. There's the guy you got to get on the pay station right there, Ivan DeJesus. Trying to win one here in this series and get ready for the Padres tomorrow. 2 balls and no strikes. It's over. The Sting wins their first leg in the soccer playoffs. They beat Seattle 3-2. Game 2 Wednesday night. It'll be shown on Channel 9 in Chicago, our Chicago flag station. The reason I reiterate that today because we have some of our baseball network stations with us. It'll be after the Sox game Wednesday night. Here's the 2-0 to Buckner. And a strike. It's 2-1. The Giants won the first 2 games, both 1-run verdicts. Cubs had chances to win them both. Boy, if they're due to get a hit when it counts, it is now and right here. 2 balls, 1 strike. DeJesus, Henderson. And now the confrontation, Lavelle against Buckner. 3 balls and 1 strike. And the way it's going here now, I still go back to that conference that when Frank Robinson went out there, he might have said, go ahead and pitch to Buckner, but don't give him anything he can hit. In other words, he's almost giving him a choice between a cagey old veteran like Buckner and a youngster like Durham. All right, 3-1 to Billy Buckner. He almost threw it away. Bases are loaded. Now it's up to the bull. Leon Durham will bat with a teammate on every base. 2 away, bottom of the 9th. He's had 2 hits today. He's 3 for 12 in the series. Baltimore just got a 2-run homer out of Singleton, his 11th. And in a seesaw game at Oakland, Baltimore now leads Oakland 4-3 after 2.5. But to the case in point, it's right here at Wrigley Field. Leon Durham facing Gary Lavelle. DeJesus at third. He's the only one who counts, even though the bases are loaded. Lavelle's going to go to a full windup against Durham. Ball 1. This crowd is ready to erupt here. They've had enough of these tough 1-run losses on this homestand. 1 ball, no strikes. DeJesus bouncing around at third. 1 ball, 1 strike to the Bull. A ball and a strike. DeJesus started the inning with a pop fly single. He's now at third. An intentional walk and a semi-intentional have loaded him. And the 1-1 to Durham. 2 balls and 1 strike. And now Milt May has called time. You remember the pitch that he threw Buckner for ball 4 he almost threw away, and that one started to take off. I think Milt May wants to have a little chat with his veteran left-hander Lavelle. 2 balls and 1 strike. You see the story. 2 outs. Morgan, Evans, May forming the quartet on the hill at Wrigley Field. Leon Durham is the man who can send everybody home happy here today after 2 frustrating losses in the first 2 games of this series. 2 balls and a strike. 2-2. Now Durham's got to be ready. He's got to really be ready to protect that strike zone and that plate. 2-2, 2 down. And here it comes. Whoa, he sidearmed him, almost a crossfire motion. Durham had a notion, almost reached across, as you could see, and laid off of it. Now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. The crowd up all the way around. 15,000 trying to sound like 30. They want Durham to do it. Fouled off. The game is still on. So DeJesus will go back to third. Henderson to second. Buckner to first. A Cub uprising in the 9th, but it all rests on the bat and shoulders of the baby bull, Leon Durham. And here we go. He walked in the winning run. How about that? Lavelle walked 3 men in the 9th inning. He walked in the winning run.
I think he did that the other day, too, Model.
There's Lavelle leaving. So Durham gets a winning RBI, the easiest way there is to get one. A walk with the bases loaded, and the Bull is happy about it, and well, he should be. Here it is again. Let's see where that pitch was. He dropped down, sidearm again, and the ball just kept going away from him, and it was ball 4. And DeJesus, who had 3 hits today and had opened the inning with a pop fly single, crossed the plate with run number 6,